when I started doing this, and he said, "Open your hand. I want to give you something." Well, in order for me to receive, I had to open it. And then he goes, "Well, in order to learn, you also got to give." And he said, when you give, you also open your hand. He's like, use that same mindset when you're trading. If you're taking a loss, you're open your hand and give it, but you're going to learn from it. And when you're taking money from the market, just be grateful that you're taking it. You know, many books,
Absolutely.
if you guys read the books, I mean, the futures traders, like specifically trader, if you guys read the Market Wizards book, it's really good. You have to be thankful for 10 and 15%. Guys, every one of these guys that drives Lambos, I guarantee you, was not driving the Lambos because of his trading. I'd be happy to see it. Maybe they have couple of $1 million accounts now, and they make 10.5K, but that's okay. They're making that now with $1 million accounts. How many of you guys want to make $500 on your account is 1,000? Like, how in the world can you do that, man? That's huge returns. Like, that's not normal and it's not sustainable. Honestly, I don't think anyone should be worried. If you're growing your account from 1,000, don't be worried about the money as much as you are worried about execution. Did I do the right setup? Was I patient? Yes, no. Was I playing against the trend? Yes, no. Was the trade probable for me? Yes or no. And then when you see it, hey, let's say you're going long, but was a major resistance above where previously rejected? Or wherever the price is now? If the answer is yes, then you're playing against something that you shouldn't. And I promised you. So TX Bill, I don't know if he's on this watch list, but he sent me some charts, right, to help him critique it. And I'll do that for anyone. You send me the charts, and many of you did. I'll send you the feedback. But with him, he didn't believe in retests. And I said, trust me, every time you break a key level, when you come back to it, you're going to get a nice little bounce. Every single time it happens, guys. Sometimes it takes longer. It depends on the liquidity. It depends type of order it was when it got there initially, when it broke. Like same here. Here, I'm just drawing the line while I'm speaking. And look, we broke above it. You see a couple of traps here, and then we broke above it. What did we do immediately? Come back. You came back again. Created all-time highs or whatever this, all-time highs. Came back, and then again you got to bounce every little time. Because what happens is the buyers, and so think about it. How many people look at this chart and see this level in America or outside of America right now? How many people you think have this line here? It's like, man, at 42.38, when it comes, there's potentially a bounce, and they give themselves nice little cushion. So something like this. They're like, man, as you come to this line, I'm going to be waiting. And that's how you guys see on the tape or book map, you guys see a bunch of orders sitting there, right?
Yeah. Any trader worth their salt has that line on their chart.
Yeah. So they will have the line, and they don't care that they get. I mean, think about it, guys. Let's say a guy buys, limit order 42.60. He buys 15 years contracts. And if this price goes to 43.50 on 15 years contracts, guys, I mean, that's a lot of money. Probably enough money that he doesn't have to trade for so long. 100 points on 15 years contracts is a lot of money. That would be insane.
Yeah.
So, and that's, lower your quantity of trades, look for the quality, and don't worry about the money. Worry about the process that you're applying and learning. If you can help cover $80 a month of repetitive process, even if it's $10 a trade that you make, you're growing and you're learning. Eventually, when you compound and you have the capital, you do the same process, but your buying power goes up and the risk management still stays the same. You just keep repeating, and that's where the compounding plays. It's the percentages. A lot of you guys have the wrong mindset of trading. It's really good when you make money off of trading and you can make a lot of it. But you guys want to make a lot of it right now, and you guys just got into this game. It takes at least, and you'll see this, books, interviews, whatever. Every single one will tell you it'll take 5 years, 5 to 7 years to become profitable.
Oh, so I'm on the right track.
to be consistently profitable. And if you don't accept losses, you're not going to be in it. So after 5 years, you're like, damn it, I've been losing 5 years. I guess you start figuring it out in the next 2. Some people do it quicker. And, you know, if you guys look around and watch these, a lot of people that were successful, that are successful in trading, they come in from a very disciplined environment. Whether it's military, a lot of people that I know, there is some kind of military form, and they're like, nope, I'm good. Or people that had nothing and have a lot now. They respect the money and they respect the losses. But people that can lose $1,000 is like, man, I have a business, I'll just make up $1,000 tomorrow. Do you think he cares about the trade? No, because a lot of these people find it as a hobby. They're like, man, you know what? I lost $1,000. I'll dump another 1,000 and then I'll go from there. And that's probably not the best method for you, because you're creating a really bad habit. The deeper the habit goes, the harder it will be to erase it and make it a good habit later on. So if you're not managing your stop losses, you're oversizing. Honestly, like if you're trading SPY, like with our 1,000 account, well, 2,000 now, if you're trading that account, like right now, and you're expecting to go into a position like half of your port, $1,000 contract, that doesn't make sense. Like it would be stupid of me to do that. Because first of all, if it's a smaller position than 2,000, if it's like 150, I have a little bit more cushion to hold it, right? If my max drawdown is 3% off of 2,000, well, I know how much I can lose. You know, that's $60, contract's 150. I can let it go to $90 before I close it. Well, now if you got 5 and your max drawdown is 3%, how much can you let it go? Not as much. So you're going to be forced, you know, to cut some losses early, and it's going to be harder for you to respect your loss, because then you're like, man, I'll return, I'll make my money back. Remember, after 10%, your percentages of recovery multiply. If you lose 50% of a contract, do you guys know how much you have to make to break even?
100.
You have to make 100% for every 50 loss. I think at 10%, it starts at 11% gain. Right? So you have to think about this, because some of you guys are coming in and you're treating it as a hobby. I can't change it. What I'm teaching you guys is fairly easy. Honestly, it's fairly easy. And it's simple. And, you know, volume profile is really, really simple. You don't have to be a genius here. We'll just do it now. If you're a really long-term trader, you will eventually get your position to buy right here. And whoever wants to bet will bet with me. And I promise you will come here. And at this level, you're going to get buyers. And it's just as simple, right? And I'm on the weekly level, so it takes time to get there. That seemed like a block order right here, like a large one. Obviously, it emptied out. And you see the volume spiked here. And then, you know, kind of volume has been not as aggressive as it was here. They are selling some on this distribution, but it's the same concept. It's the waiting game that you have to kind of experience. And a lot of you guys say, yeah, I'm more patient. What are you patient with? Are you patient with setups? Let the setup come to you. And those, I promise, are the best setups that you will see the feeling when you draw a level like this. Let's say, you know, you draw this level right here, and it comes to this level here, and like, man, I'm going to short it here. And you short it, and the trade goes successfully, and you document it in a journal. What do you think it does to you?
Confidence.
More confidence.
It will boost a lot of confidence, guys, because now, not only, and especially when you, and I know you guys might not believe it yet, and if you're struggling, first thing you should change, it's tomorrow journal every trade. Journal a trade, make sure you look at it. And once you see a lot of red, you're going to be like, well, obviously I'm not doing something right? But if you see a little bit of green, you go from 1,000, remember the compounding calculator, 1,000 to 1,030, and a month comes and you're at 2,500. Well, if in a month you can take 1,000 to 2,500 and you can do that for straight 3 months, would you say that something's working?
Definitely. Yes.
And the only thing that wouldn't work, and this is the killer, is when a human changes the greed level. You're like, oh man, I've been good. I made, $1,500 3 months in a row on this trade, even though your accounts, let's say now 4,500, 5,000 in 3 months. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to increase my position sizing and go 30%, 40%.
There you go.
And your psychology immediately, like I gave you example earlier, right? So if you guys think about it, hold on, let me just found this. Remember this, right? If you start with 1,000, this is your goal, guys. I challenge every single one on the call here. Whoever can do this, here you go. I'll offer you a deal. Whoever can do this, you get life for free from the Discord. Show me your 30 days and get 30 days to 2,400 and be consistent. If you're doing this, and your account's looking like this, do you think I care?
No.
I don't bring this to me. This is not what I want to see. A growth that has a linear growth that goes nicely like a straight line. I want something that goes like this, not that way, this way. That goes this way. I don't want it to go up and then literally breaking, making lower lows in your balance. Your goal, compounding, is not to make your balance go bigger than your compounding rate. If you focus 30 days, one trade per day, and you do this, I guarantee you, it won't take 30 days, 60 days, your habit changes and you become profitable. But many of you fail here. You see from 1,000, 1,700, and then you start doing stupid shit that you shouldn't be doing because you just did 17 days of sometimes. There's people on this call, I'm not going to call them out, that I work with. They will go green for 10, 11 days, and then they would change the rules. I'm not going to ask them to say anything, but they change the rules on themselves. And when they change the rules, their account went the opposite way. But we as humans, we always think there's something better, easier, because we're turning to be lazy humankind. Not many people are willing to put in the work. Not saying this person doesn't, but you have to know how to quickly change back. It's almost like a switch. This is a green switch here. Oh, I fucked up. I went on the red switch. You have to mentally know what works and what did you do? And how do you know what did you do right before 100 times? How would you guys know?
By your log.
Your log. If you don't have the log, I promise you will not there. I don't care what they say. I don't care what Twitter says. Every single professional trader is going to tell you mentality over technical and journal. Find one professional trader that makes millions of not doing either one thing. You will not find them. I'm not saying Twitter pumper. I'm talking about trader, professional trader that does it quietly, does not flex profits, Lambos and airplanes.
Right.
Has a good life, right? And a lot of these people don't do that because they're so disciplined, right? And they're not only disciplined in trading, they're disciplined in life. Discipline is not something you pick and choose. Either you're disciplined or you're not. And that starts early in the morning, right? Do you fix your bed? Well, every day for 30 days, go make your bed first thing you wake up. And then do this. And you're going to feel a little bit of an accomplishment. Man, I fixed my bed. This is good. Make yourself coffee, brush your teeth. If you eat breakfast, eat breakfast. If you don't, move on. But create a routine every morning. What do you do? Read newspapers. Don't even get on the Discord. Let Discord not be the distraction, right? Because we talk. Sometimes we're on stock, sometimes we're not. Create a routine where it's you time and you're focused for an hour. After that hour, you have 30 minutes, let's say, relax, and then 9:15, the blinds go up and you don't care. You have to enter the zone where it's your job, right? It's your business. You're growing something. A lot of you guys probably don't think about it that way. You know, you come in, man, I got to trade today. I'm gonna look to make some money. No, you're not looking to make some money. Let's say you're fired tomorrow from a job and you have 3 kids and your, let's say, wife or husband doesn't work. Would you treat it the same way?
Nope.
Hell no.
Way more disciplined.
Oh, I was waiting for that person to say something. You'll be way more disciplined. And that's the problem. You don't respect it enough now. You will not respect it even if you lose $100,000. If your inflow is bigger than cash outflow right now while you're trading, you're gonna have a hard time. But if you make it where it's like, man, this is my last try, $1,000, and you have to be honest with yourself. I'm putting $1,000 in my account, and I'm gonna look to grow it to 5K in 3 months, or don't put timeline. I want you to grow the account. Do 30 days, 1 trade per day. Aim for these targets. I mean, what is wrong with these targets? In 30 days, you would make $1,300.
Nothing.
Times 12, guys. I mean, think about it. If you have a job, here you go. Well, I'll give somebody an example. You have a job, you're making, let's say, $120,000 a year. And I want to cover psychology anyways of this program, so, well, tonight. So if you have $120,000 salary, right? Just be honest here. Whoever's in corporate, when's the last time you got a 40% increase?
Never.
When's the last time you guys got 25% increase at the job? Where they just came to you and it's like, hey, Rumi, I'm giving you 25% salary because you're so good. Is there anyone?
Nope.
Okay, well, let's take these numbers real quick. So let's say you got 100, your boss gave you 25% increase. Most of you guys would be happy, I believe. Would you guys be happy if the job gave you 25% increase on 120?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I mean, who wouldn't, right? You're making 150 now. Okay. Well, let's say there's 255 trading days, okay? Let's say you guys make $65 per day. Okay. So here, you guys are getting 30K increase, right? This is before, you know, of course, your IRS comes through. Here, you're making 16,000 more. You're making a lot less, right? Is that correct? A lot
Yeah.
less. Okay. So 16.5 is what you're making there. You're making 65 per day on an account. If you can complete this challenge of 60 days or 30 days, I promise that this per day can go quickly from 65, let's say, to 150. Take a look at this number now. What happens when you make 150 per day?
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Well, it's not a lot of money, but look at this. Your old salary plus side trade income will be what?
Wow.
Who's making more now? I promise. I've been in corporate. I'm still in corporate. You will not ever voluntarily get 25% increase on your salary. I guarantee you. Unless you shift jobs and you threaten to leave, you bring a counter offer, then you're going to be under the microscope. I'm telling you this because unfortunately, evil people and companies make you do that. You bring me a counter offer, sure, I'll match it, but I promise next year and for next 5 years, your merit increase is going to be below 1%. And it's just a math game for us. But think about it. Most people get, I would say, between 0 to 3, I would say between 3% and max. Even this year, last year was odd. Some people would get 7%.
Yeah.
So let's say you got 8%. Guys, some of you guys work for companies 5, 10, 15 years, and they give you 8%. But look at this. All you have to do is you made $150. Okay, thank you guys. I'm logged off. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Log the fuck off. But
Yes.
before you make this 150, you have to know how to get it. You have to be in sync with the market. You're willing to accept for, if your account is 1,000, right? I mean, making 150, I personally don't think this is sustainable immediately. To make 150 is going to take a little bit of time. And even look here, it's telling you mathematically here, even here after day 31, you're not at 150 here. You see what I'm saying? So this takes time to build, guys. And you guys want the overnight. I'm telling you, around 60 day 60, things start to look a little bit better, especially in trading if you get it to here. So your true test is, I would say, aim for the 30 days, 1 trade per day. You guys don't see that there's a date here. I don't put dates here. Why do I not put dates here? Why is it not, I don't know, October 1st?
So
you don't trade every
every day.
There's no trade every day. If there's no fucking setup, don't take it. That's why it's day 2. When a day 2 present itself, and if there's no trade, that's okay. But day 2 of your trade, day 2 when you took day or number 1 trade, number 2 trade, whatever you want to call it. So the problem with you guys and everyone, I'm not calling you guys, but is the greed and no risk acceptance. You guys want to make money, but when it's time to get rid of the money because you made a mistake, you're like, man, no, I'm right. No, I'm gonna double down here. Man, I know I'm right. I know the market's wrong. I'm sorry, but what is telling you? Once you're down, let's say on a 0 DT, you're down 60%. If you're down 60%, how much do you have to make up?
120.
No, it's more. It would be 150% if my math's right.
Wow.
Right? What do you guys know what kind of reversal has to happen to go 150% from negative 60 down?
Oh my God.
Like a rocket. rocket
You literally have to get a V-shaped recovery. And how often have you guys seen these V-shapes?
You need to make 150% to recover from negative 60.
Exactly. Well, is it calculated? Because I think I did it in my head, but
I posted the chart in the main chat.
okay, I'll take a look at it. And that's crazy, guys. Some people that are down like 90% or something like that. Like, if you're down 90%, I mean, take that 10%, keep it, man. Go buy yourself Starbucks. At least cry about it in Starbucks.
Maybe pop it up on your screen so everyone can see.
Oh my God.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Where'd you post it?
It's in the main chat.
All right, let's see.
That's what I love about these guys.
Okay, I got it. There you go. Here's your balance. Look at this. If you lose 75%, you need a 300% banger. You guys will need to call C Blast and a few other experts that take 1,000 to 1,000,000 because I can't promise you 300% return. Do we catch them? Yeah. Is it fun? Yes. Do I dream about that I'm gonna make 300% of my money tomorrow? Hell no.
No.
My goal is 10% on my trade. If I can get it, I'm happy. And if people like to make 100% bangers nonstop, well, keep getting the money to the market. That's all I can tell you. You know why? Because I'm on the opposite side of you guys. Unfortunately, I'm playing against some of you guys. You guys are playing against me. This is a zero-sum game. You lose, I make. So if you guys want to continue the same shit over and over, hold on 1 second, guys. My son's crying. Give me 2 minutes, please. 1 second. My wife's actually.
It's about as real as it comes.
So I'll just finish up what I was saying before we started. the point I was getting at is most of us here are good on TA. A lot of people don't trust their TA, and you've got to get that psychological key part down to make it in this game. So if you're struggling, you might want to start looking into, reading Trading in the Zone or listening to the audiobook and, listening to it or reading it a few times at least. So.
Psychological part is, I think, like one of the main. If not, once you got this down, the technical analysis, the psychological part is the hardest, man.
Well, it's the most important part because without it, you'll never make it.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. That's the hardest part.
Yeah, so Shorty needs like 5 minutes. So, what was I saying? Sorry,
Psychological.
bear with me for just a second here. Oh, so I was just thinking about back to what we were talking about when Shorty came on and I stopped talking. Until you're okay taking a loss, like trading is not an ego based thing. Like you are going to take losses. Like let's just say you're a decent trader, your win rate's probably like 60%. So 40% of the time guaranteed, right off the bat you're going to take losses. And so until you're willing to accept, hey, 40% of the time I'm going to be wrong, and make sure that you cut those losses as soon as you figure out, okay, I was wrong, and accepting the losses versus going to, let me start praying to whatever God I believe in that this might turn around, or maybe if I hold just a little bit more and risk a little bit more money than I should, it might turn around. You're never going to make it. And so accepting the loss, being okay with the loss, and knowing as soon as you enter a trade, whatever, there's a 30-40% chance that you are going to be wrong and that you have to accept that loss, you'll never make it. Because once your losses are bigger than your wins, your account's going down and you're never going to get there. So you have to be okay accepting your losses. You have to know that you are going to get losses. That's part of trading. And until you accept all of those things, like you're just never going to get there. The chart up on the screen, you look at, a negative 30% loss, you have to make 43% basically to get back to break even. A negative 40% loss, you need a 66% win to get back to break even. Break even, not profit. Break even.
That's not even break even because some of you might have some commission fees and
well, yeah. So with the commissions, you're not even at break even. But I'm saying just to even get in the ballpark of break even.
Like you notice when the candles are going up, as soon as they turn around, you lose money a hell of a lot quicker than you gain it. Have you guys noticed that?
Yeah. And I mean, you just have to think about yourself as a trader. How often are you making 100% on your trade? So if you let a trade go to negative 50%, what's the chance that you're going to make it back to break even? Just based on your everyday trading. Like how often do you get that 100% banger? So what's the likelihood that you're going to get back to just break even on your negative 50%? So not until you accept that you're going to take losses and you cut them at an appropriate time that you'll start to make it in this game. Anyway, I'll stop now, Shorty.
No, that's right on. I mean, I think, and a lot of you guys hear this from me. You hear it from Drew. Yeah. You hear it from a lot of people, and some of you guys don't take it deeply enough. You hear the same stuff. You know what the problem is. It's you. It's not me. I guarantee you it's not me. You are the problem till you change it. Because you guys are doing the same shit over and over and expecting different results. Every single one that's on a losing streak. You're buying where you should be selling. You're not respecting your stop losses. And You're not documenting logs. I mean, if I just call 15 people, and I might, you show me your logs for past 3 months, you don't have it, you're out. I promise I will probably get 50% hit. If you're not willing to document, guys, how long it takes to document? We give you a log. If you don't like it, just create one with the date, entry, exit, reason, and the type of setup it was. That's all you need to see, right? And then, we do some other statistical stuff that tells you, are you playing too low? Are you giving too much risk versus reward? And those type of ratios help you, right? There's traders that play 2 to 1. That's all they care about in ES. If you can do 2 to 1 on ES futures, you can take 1,000 to a lot in 30 days. For every 50, if you can make 100, and you guys hear me, how many times do I post? I just turn 8 into 50. I put 8 risk and I make 50. Do you guys understand what kind of return that is? I was risking $8, but I made 50. It's not how much I put in. Even if I put $100,000, but my risk was 8, I risked 8 to make 50. I didn't risk 100,000. That was just the capital on the backside. And that's the return that I'm looking at, right? Sometimes when I get a contract to 140 and it jumps to 1.8, I mean, and let's say my stop loss was 10% of that. So I risked $14 to make how much? To make 40? If I told you every day, every single day that you're living, man, you give me $14, I'll give you 40. What would you say?
How fast?
I mean, if you say, no, man, I want more, something's wrong with you. Something's mentally not okay with you. You really need more help than me or anyone else. You need to go like to a higher level doctor, psychiatrist, to figure out like what's wrong with you. And a lot of you guys, you get a one contract on SPY, and it's you buy it at. I bought the other one the other day. I think it was 31. It jumped to 46. I was risking a little bit to make, and I was like, hey, $5 risk, and I made 15. Good enough for me. But now if you do that and you multiply it, let's say you bought 1,000 of those contracts, right? You buy 1,000 contracts at, let's say, $22. They jump into 45. Well, it's a little bit different story now on your money, is it?
Yeah.
This would be. Would you take this trade?
Yeah.
I mean, guys, this is 100%. It's just that on an individual basis, it's not a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's $23 now, but do this $23. I promise. Do it 265 days and be disciplined. Here, do it 250 days, man. I don't care what you do. Develop a discipline and the money grows. Stop doing the same shit over and over and complaining. I had a guy in this Discord that he would complain to me and ask him, what you do differently? Nothing. Well, if you constantly do nothing and I constantly fucking tell you not to do that, you're going to aggravate me because I don't get it. Like, instead of you guys taking losing trades, how about we just create a fund and we donate it to a charity and we give them the money then? I mean, I think it's better. Instead of giving it to a person you don't know, it's better to give the money to somebody that needs it then.
Shorty, can we log, like, I'm not very good with computers. I want to ask you something. Can I write my logs?
Of course, man, as long as you can go back and create a discipline on your log.
Okay.
If you're writing a log, say the entry and, draw a square around it, exit, and then red, green letters, put the profit, setup you took, why did you take it, why did it not work out, or why it worked out. And then that's your number one trade. Yeah, number two trade. It's much easier to do some analysis on Excel if you add the time of the day you took. Because some traders are better morning traders than afternoon traders.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's people that trade range like iron condors during the 12 and 1. You guys don't think that market makers set up like, hey, we're not going to move this. let's just sell both sides and we're just going to collect money. You don't think they do that? Of course they do. So, and it's on us to recognize those patterns so that we know, how should you trade that day. And I've given you guys the type of days that we have. There are 6 of them. If you can't name them in the middle of your sleep, if somebody wakes you up at 4 a.m. and you don't know how they look like, you can't visualize them, you're not ready to trade yet.
Wow.
I can tell you every single slide from that PowerPoint by heart. And, it's really, at the end, it's you guys. I'm giving you guys the technical knowledge. Some of you guys take the technical knowledge.
Hey, I can't hear you.
You just cut out, Shorty. We can't hear you. We cannot hear you, Shorty. Somebody text.
I'm sure he can hear that we can't hear him, but he is probably trying to
Oh.
fix it.
Okay.
What a weird night.
Yeah, right.
So while we're waiting for Shorty to figure out his technical issues, I'll just get back to what we were talking about, like before the class started, and before we started streaming live on YouTube, which is, in this game, you get back what you put in. And like, if you listen to Shorty, I'm sure everybody's heard him say this. He's read the book Trading in the Zone like 15 times. And we were talking about, it was just a small group of us talking about this earlier, but like, if you think about a movie, when you watch a movie the first time, you'll be like, oh, this is a good movie. And then you watch it the second time and you notice something in the movie that you didn't see the first time. Then you watch the movie a third time and you see something else you didn't see the first or second time. And it's just that every time that we expand our knowledge, you're able to expand your knowledge even further the next time and pick up on concepts that you didn't pick up on the first time. And so, things like this where volume profile is pretty simple. And with that said, like, most of our TA should be on point. And then, the aspect that you're probably missing is going to be that mental aspect. So if you don't, if you've read Trading in the Zone and you're still struggling with the mental aspect, read the book again. And like, maybe you'll pick up on something that you didn't catch the first time you read it, and then read it a third time. And, just keep trying to expand that knowledge base and keep trying to work on that mental game. And you have to be like, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but you have to be so strict about cutting your losses, and accepting the loss, and taking your profits when they're there.
Oh my god, dude, I was talking the whole fucking time.
Oh, we told you. I kept telling you that we.
I
couldn't
don't
hear
have
you.
the chat up. I'm like
Oh, Shorty.
I DM'd you everything.
I think you stopped at
I did not stop, man. I'm
no,
telling
I think the last thing we heard was
Oh my god.
It's been
oh,
about
shit.
5 minutes, Shorty.
yeah, dude. Like
Yeah.
I was mad. I was personally getting some. I was mad at you guys.
Missed it.
No, go ahead, man. Say it again. Say it again.
So you're a
No,
bad man. Sorry.
no. So it really comes down to your behavior and your mental side of the trades, guys. The technical is easy. We'll get into we'll chart the charts now. But even if I chart the charts of tomorrow, if I tell you what to do, you have the plan. You know what you guys do? You guys go against the plan.
Something else.
Yeah, for sure.
Funny.
How many of you? How many? Here, I'll just bring it up. Let's slowly get into the charts. How many of you had the chart up and you're like, man, if it comes right here, I'm buying and I'm gonna make some money. Like let's say right here, you're like, as soon as it comes to this support, which was support before, I'll go along here. And then you know what you guys do? You go short.
Mm-mm.
How many of you guys changed the plan based on hearing somebody else and saying, hey, I did this, I'm going long, and you switch? He changes what you were going to do, and you don't know if you did any homework.
Mm.
How many of you guys do that?
Sometimes.
I have.
I used to, that's for damn sure.
A lot of you guys have a good plan. You guys have good level. I promise. And, you know, I will go head to head on any of these levels with anyone. The levels that we find sometimes are fucking deadly accurate, guys. I would say most of the time they're deadly accurate.
Mm.
But it's also believing in yourself, having the confidence to trust yourself, and staying in a trade. If it's a losing trade, getting out of the trade. It's okay. For instance, let's say you're like, hey, man, I'm going short right here. Did we say that this was going to be bounced last time? Did we not say this? 39.12?
Yeah.
Well, I can bring it back. I believe it was here. Oh, look, what do you know? What's this POC here?
Yep. Yep.
Did we say that it was going to bounce here? This was going to be a good buying opportunity. And what did we do? We bounced 100 points. It's trusting yourself to do it. And you see these things repeat, right? I mean, they're constantly repeating. Okay, well, let's get into it. We know that level is super important. Let's keep it on there. So this was your run up. If you guys look here, as I tell you, are you guys feeling a little bit better? At least picking something up on psychology part. I have to ask you all. My mic's working. I was mad earlier.
Yes.
Absolutely, yes.
Guys, you have to start changing it. It doesn't matter if you're learning, if you're not changing. Your behavior has to change in front of the charts. Okay, so hopefully you guys, you know, at least take something from this. At least start doing the log. If you're gonna do anything for me and anything to help you learn, do the log.
Yep.
Everything else comes from it. Log is super important, guys. Okay. All right. So, and then I just want to show you guys. So if you guys look at this line, I drew a horizontal line for a reason. What do you guys see here on the chart?
From that line,
Yeah, this was the POC line that I drew right here. Look,
a lot of respect. I mean, he's respected it a lot.
look, it's right on. I was there. I drew it. And then you zoom out, you go on 2-3 hours. Here I'm on 2 hours. Let's go 4 hours. Look at this line here. Respected, 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 respected. Stuck on it, right? I mean, it created a bull flag that fell down. And you see that it worked. So you had more confluence items. And I'm not saying my way is the best. You know, just looking at price action, understanding, like when we talk about high and lows, whether your the demand is breaking the breakout structure from the previous one. For instance, this demand right here, is it good? Yeah, this demand's pretty great. I mean, if you're considering this the structure, great. If you're considering this to be the structure in 10 minutes, well, this demand not so great. It did not break this structure here. So it's telling you this demand. If this one slices, where do you guys think we're going if we slice through this 3,900?
Value area low.
There's a high chance that you're going to go to value area low, but even higher chance you're just going to skip through it. The reason why you would most likely skip through it is here. Is there's no volume there. After that, your next catch is right there at 3,800. This would be your next demand zone that you're looking to play. Once you lose this guy, yeah, you might have a little bit here, a little bounce here, and then you're pretty much clear to go. Right now, what we are doing. Okay, so I'll just delete it so you guys start picking this up. Do you guys think this is directional? This price action here, you guys think this is directional?
No.
No.
Guys, there's no direction here. I mean, there's zero direction here. So if you guys here just go on daily, some of you guys are losing your money right here. I mean, the max range that you got, let's take the two outliers out, right? Fair? Let's just take the two outliers out and make this the range. Since, what is this, November 10th? We win in 75 points range. Exclude the outliers here. This is BS. Traps on both sides, right? Trap for shorts, trap for longs. I mean, that's pretty tough, man. 75 basis points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Take the 2 out. 5 days, 75 basis points. That's pretty bad. And it's not bad. It's because we're going to make a move. And you will get a move. And you don't have to catch it. That's the beauty of cheating. Do you believe me? You don't have to catch it.
What?
I promise you don't have to catch it.
You have to
Here.
retest.
Watch this. Is this look identical to this? I mean, here. I mean, if you think I'm coming up with shit. Is there an outlier here? On the top, you had an outlier here. It peeked through. On the bottom, you did not have an outlier. Overall, I would say the range is probably the same. Very close to the same here. 86 points.
What do you mean by outlier, Shorty?
Well, I'm talking about this candle here that broke, right? They set up a trap here. Here, this is a liquidity grab, sell, buy, liquidities. So here, I just take those out. I don't count them because they do that on purpose. But it's the same thing here, is it not? Are we getting the same consolidation as here? I would say so, right? This looks pretty identical to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
How many days did we consolidate here? 13 days, right? 8 bars. So 8 days, 8 trading days. Let's count this guy in here. And this is, so maybe if the history repeats itself, what? So you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe on the 23rd, you get a direction. You guys know that this is a short week, right?
Yes.
So maybe they're like, hey, let's give a bull run, Thanksgiving, blah, 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 bullshit. They need to make more money because they'll have family and private jets flying in. So they're like, okay, we'll go long or we'll go short. So same concept. And here, guys, this is not moving. And a lot of you guys, you're like, this is the FOMO. Man, I missed this. If I was only short, and I knew I should have been. This is my favorite. When they say, I knew I should have been short. That's my favorite from all of the people in the Discord. You knew you should have been short, right? So you're trying to predict the market that the smartest MIT professors were predicting, and they were not able to do it. But here comes one Cuban. He's gonna say that he knew he was supposed to be in it. I'm not saying that they're not as smart as these MIT professors and people that try to figure it out, but I would put my odds that they're smarter than us.
Absolutely.
Do not predict the price. Stop fucking predicting if it's gonna get in. You get in on the retest.
Mm.
Here, if you got in and you had a stop loss, so great, you lost money. Woohoo. The trade did not work out. If every trade worked out, guys,
Right.
it wouldn't be a net zero game. I promise it would not be. It would become very directional, and you cannot have that in the market.
Mm.
They need to make losers as much as they make winners, because the
Mm-hmm.
losers feed the winners.
Mm.
And the more winners you have, the more they talk about it. So they bring in who? More losers.
Mm.
More retailer jumps in. I mean, think about what happened in 2020. How many people unfortunately bought? How many people, I would say they loaded their portfolios in crypto and everything here when we came for a retest? Oh, this is just a little pullback. We're just
I
gonna
think
be
Tom
okay.
Brady did that.
Yeah, guys, a lot of people, it doesn't matter who you are. This stock market, as much as manipulation it has, it's manipulated with so much cash, guys, that Tom Brady with his $100 million,
Mhm.
again, is nothing.
Mm.
It's not much. You're talking about trillions of dollars. I don't even know what the higher figure is. Trillions of dollars going through it, and demand and supply of it. And now you add the complexities of interest rates. You add the complexity of a dollar. You add the complexity of Russia, the war, this, China, new current. I mean, add those factors and tell me you know where the price is going, please. I promise that you don't know. You stop fucking coming up and with excuses that you knew that you should have been in it. Well, yeah, you had no reason being in it. Did anyone read the book Street Smarts?
No.
No.
Oh. Really good book. It's about trading, and it has a lot of technical examples. And in the first page, it's like a dialogue in the book. And this guy, he was a wealthy trader, 28 years, and this is way back. Take 40 years back. He's a futures trader in his capital company, right? Private equity company. And he went on a vacation with his wife. Another guy, like a Twitter expert, called him and said, "Hey, you should probably go along here. All you got, you're gonna make a lot of money." Well, the guy, he trusted this guy because he was an expert. And he threw all of his money in that trade, and he went on a vacation, 14-day vacation to Maldives or somewhere with his wife. Needless to say, he called his broker and he's like, "Hey, how'd the market do today?" And his secretary actually said, "Well, we were down 26 points." Well, he's like, "Damn, 26 points for amount of money I put in. I just lost quite a bit." He started freaking out a little bit on his vacation. Then he called the next day. He's like, "Hey, let's give her a name, Kelly. How did the market do?" And she's like, "Well, it's up 15 points." And he's like, "Man, okay, well, we're coming back. We're going all-time highs." Next day he calls and it's like, "Hey, how'd the market do?" And she's like, "Hey, negative 86 points." And he's like, "Oh, fuck."
Whew.
He calls the guy and he's like, "Hey, man, rest assured, man, I'm telling you, this is just a little retracement. We're going all-time highs. We're going to break every record here." Well, needless to say that he did not have enough money probably to pay for that vacation that he took. And that's because he was listening to others and not trusting himself. And he became a millionaire doing it himself. And then he went on to listen to somebody else. And same with you guys. If somebody writes, "Hey, I'm long here," that's fine. Be long. Go in there, go take that go long that he took. Look at your setup, look at what you look for, and does it line up to go along where he went? If it doesn't, then you tell him good luck. Right? And some of you guys, right? You come in and I know right about who's in another discords. Some people, I'm not gonna call anybody. I see when you guys post. Like, I'm very observant, guys. You might not know, but like I observe literally everything in my life. At dinner with wife, I'll observe. I know the people around me. I know what they're wearing. I know his face, like a really memory picture, like a graphic memory. I have it. And when I see you guys, like, okay, some of you guys sounds like you have 45 different accounts when you post them in the chat. Like, I'm super excited if you have 45 accounts, but you know, again, I just go to probabilities. What's a chance of a human having 45 different accounts of Webull, a Robinhood, a Thinkorswim, a TradeStation, a Trade8, and I don't even know all of them that exist. I only got like 2.
Got
Uh,
one.
the chance of you having all those, you know, is slim to none. It sometimes it's not good to be flashy so much in front of the people you care about and love about, because they might not have as much. And also, if you're lying, you're also lying not only to yourself to make yourself feel better, just like Instagram or whatever. I've never seen a post from Instagram or friends where they said they had a bad day. It's every time is, man, let me take a picture right here next to this building or on a vacation here. I don't see any of them sending pictures from their work office. Because we're in the life where it's all gratification and social media is fucking giving a message that it's not real.
Right.
Got to get
So,
that
and
instant dopamine.
yeah, and I promise you guys will read about this, and you know, maybe we won't be alive when they come, when they do the studies on this generation that got inflicted with social media. Man, they're gonna be some fucked up fucking beings, I promise. All we expect is happy shit. God forbid if there was a
Yep.
war on land in the United States. I could see, I know which one of my neighbors would be dead within 10 seconds if the war started, or they would kill themselves. Just because they're mentally weak, they don't know how to deal with it, right? I mean, they complain that a soccer ball hit their side garage or their car, or I don't know. I'm just throwing like what? And
Yes,
like
and
they're
petty shit.
complaining about people walking on sidewalks too far on the street. Like, what do you want? What do you want them to do? Like if these are the biggest problems we as humans face right
Yes.
now, I promise there's worse shit. Like just go travel somewhere like not called United States or not called your city. Go somewhere like, you know, go to Mexico, like real
Go to
Mexico. I'm
Cuba.
talking about Mexico City. Go to Cuba, like go to Europe somewhere. And you know, that's the problem.
Yes.
And a lot of you guys are not grateful, I'll be honest. A lot of you guys
Huh?
always want more and you never
Yeah.
want less.
Yeah.
And until you get rid of that, like I said, it's not only trading. It's your whole life that you need a system, and unfortunately some of you guys, you don't have a discipline in your whole life, and therefore it will take you a little bit more time to get the discipline on the trading. And no offense, don't feel like I'm threatening you and attacking you, but you know, try doing the little things in life that you wanted to do them now. And because tomorrow, I promise, for all of us, is not guaranteed. Not me, not you, not anyone. Whatever you want to do, finish it today. So the best way to avoid these people, the big bull, is to make sure when you see it that you call it out, and or don't associate yourself with them. So that's what I would say. All right, guys. Well, let's get into it. Hopefully, guys, it was a good lesson. Let's look at the technicals. So I'm on the 3-day here on ES. What do you guys see? So it became support. Here we broke it. What do you guys think we did here? They broke below. They set up a hammer. They're like, oh man, we're gonna go run up. All the prediction experts came in and they're like, man, we're gonna go higher. This is a hammer candle. Well, this is a bearish hammer candle.
It's a trap.
It's definitely a trap. And then it came back to the low of that candle and never took it out. Then, I mean, obviously they sliced it. They're like, yep, we're not gonna go there. And now, when you look at the bigger picture, what's happening is that you're still, your previous support just became
Resistance.
Resistant.
on the 3-day chart. This is definitely a flip. On a weekly, this is even a better flip. A lot of people are are bullish, right, for the long term. I'm not very bullish long term until you come here, you go above this level, you come back, and you show me the buyers, and you take this high right here. I'm giving you a high level of my bullishness. I don't care about your channel. I don't care what you have there. I'm telling you, price action wise, for me, you have to do that. This is your channel. Sure, you'll break it, come back for the retest, and this would be a good buying opportunity. Until then, your overall bias when I'm talking about big time frame is what?
Bearish.
Bearish. We're in a
Yeah.
downtrend.
You have to put it in your head though that it's a big trend. Is there a chance that you can have a day like you had here? Yes. Overall, you're bearish. But there's a chance you're gonna have a nice little retracement, and that's what happened here, right? They had a nice dump, right? They dropped to here. And here we are now. We got over that, but we were not able to get over what? Did a single candle here on a daily close about 40.12.
No.
Nope.
Yep, they didn't. But what could happen is what?
We'll do a gap up.
Okay. What's another scenario that you could expect this to get more momentum? For a bullish side.
Break the resistance.
Okay, well, what about this, right? I would say this is overall a bull flag so far.
Yeah.
If they bring it back one more time down, and let's say they retest this level, 3870, which was pretty much the breakout level here, right? And you guys know what I mentioned about the big candles. What should you do on the big candles?
Take a fib and wait.
Take a fib and take that 50% of it, and I promise that might be the level you might want to be interested. But look what happens here at the 50%. What was the 50% before? Right here, look at that. It's a breakout level. So if they bring it back down, right? And I don't know if they will or not. This level confluence with bull flag could trigger that they do this from here. Where a lot of people would think, man, a lot of bearishness because we're breaking below 3,900. Well, they could do for December because last year we didn't have a Santa rally. Is they drop it here, and of course, they do what most don't expect. And what most don't expect, in my opinion, right now is what me personally, I don't think people are expecting a bull run. Everybody's on their seats with puts and like itching to add on every pump. And my first position, I added only 5. I wasn't aggressive at it. I just want to take a little bit part of the rejection. And you trim them, right? And now I have a little bit more risk. I can play with a few that I have. Okay. So this is definitely a potential, right? They could dump this to 3,900 tonight. I mean, guys, think about it. They only have to drop 40 points tonight, and they're back to this level of 394. Even from there, they could get a nice bounce, even if they want to push to 40.30. This level hasn't been tested again, right? That 40.52 that came in after hours, that wasn't tested yet. So this was not tested. And if you guys look right here, if this is the level where we sold off from last time, look where we are right now. So 39.66 seems to be a problem, right? Because if you guys look at this, what is it telling you here? Why did I grab this? Does anyone know? Why was I grabbing this?
Because it's the nearest rundown.
It's the nearest rundown, but also before they ran down, what did they do here? Right here. Think about it. I'm on daily here, so this is days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. They were kind of in this range right here. So that's the reason.
Created a range.
Yeah, that's why I'm grabbing this, because I want to see right before you dumped, where did you create a lot of volume? Okay, well, that's great. You created some volume here, but also there's some accumulation though here. Even though this is a big volume here, I mean, you're talking about, July 29th all the way till August 20th. So for a month, you're dancing here and you kind of dissect the volume here. I promise it won't be very bullish volume that you're seeing. Every time you came, here, you see the spikes in volume. You hit a shelf here, they offloaded. You hit a shelf here, they offloaded. Sell, sell, sell. And then look what they did. And I'm telling you guys, the retests work. You don't have to worry about it. What did you do? You broke below the POC, and then what did you do?
Retest and dump.
Tested.
You retested it, right? So this is what you're looking for. This is called the bearish accumulation on the highest level right here. And that was perfect. I mean, think about it. How many people are freaking out because they missed a chance because they went down 6%? 6% is a lot. I mean, 251 points, guys. It's phew. I mean, think about it. We've been getting 75 for a couple of days. So 250 is, phew. And if you can catch that move on one ES contract, I promise you will like your account. So here, this is our accumulation. This is the setup, right? This is the level that you're looking at. And right now, from the support and resistance perspective, you see, you know, you're kind of, if you're to draw a single level here, you'd be able to, right? So this one here, sure, not very important, but this one here, it might be important. You draw this level here, and you see it was support before, didn't really hold once they broke below as much. Some here, not really aggressive level. But if I was to draw a level somewhere around here, let's see the importance of it. Would you guys say this is an important level? I just drew it off the POC.
Yes.
I would say this is a much more important level than this one. I mean, a tap, 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 and then you're literally dumping from the same level where they accumulated. So it's a fairly important level. This level here is important, and it's repeating kind of maybe here, the same look here. You know, here, this was called a diamond top. Right here. So this is your diamond top. And usually when you see these, this is not a good sign. When you get the diamond tops, man, they go the distance. They will definitely test the closest low to it. And I mean, here, definitely tested with the big old candle. And now, if you think about here, is there a chance for a diamond top? I think so, right? I mean, there's a chance building here for a diamond top. You shorten this guy here. There's this guy here. And don't look for perfection on diamond tops, right? If they're seen that often, that'd be great, but they're not. Well, what do you guys see?
Another diamond top.
Could be another diamond top, and this one would test the low. And if that's the case, you have this one, and you have 3750. Well, why am I bringing up this? Why am I leading into 3750s? Look at this. We accumulated from that level. So if we dump it, while most would be freaking out to sell, what if they want the rally from 3750? And this is where they bought it. So these people right here, let me see, where is this? What do you guys think these people are gonna do right here?
Buy more.
Defend the level.
Guys, they're gonna defend the hell out of this level, I promise. Don't think fucking too much. This is how it works. I don't care what the fuck you think is gonna happen. They're gonna defend this level. Are they gonna defend it as much as this level? I don't care. If I can get into this level and I can make my 20%, and I know where they might sell, right? If I see these volume shelves, I can play that level all day. So if this is the level that they care about, well then, okay, well, I'll play that level. So don't overthink it too much, right? Play the levels that you're seeing and trust yourself. On this level, this is a good buy zone, and I would definitely participate in this. And you see here that this liquidity, what happened with this liquidity here? This is a failed auction on daily, right? Right here, they had low liquidity and they had a tiny little shelf here. If you guys look, there's a shelf here that they created from buying. So there was buyers right here, but majority of the buyers was here. This was here called the trap on a short side. Because think about it, you have an indecision candle here at the top, right? Previously about 38.50. And then you break that low and you slice it. How many people loaded up right here? How many people below 37.50 right here were like, man, we're going to all-time lows? I would say probably a lot of them. How many bought 3,700 puts? Probably a lot of them. So this is a better setup for short than it is for long right now. But if they reverse it, let's say they break 39.14 and they come to here and you see the reversal and you see the curl happening. I mean, there's no reason not to believe that they might not buy it and drive it all the way to here. Remember, this level is fairly important. In my opinion, 41.50 is what they want. And here, you had sellers accumulated here and they sold off. You had sellers accumulated here and sold off. Well, now, what is it telling you about these sellers when you look at this price? Either they moved up or the seller executed his trades and his block orders or his master orders are filled. So now that you're above it, it's normal that we did this. If you guys look at this, right? It's normal that the price action did this. It broke down, came back for a retest, dumped, at the same time made higher lows. If this supply took out this low, what would it mean? Think about it. Here, this supply created this low. You had
was a strong supply.
So if I did this, let me show you. Watch this now. There was a supply here, obviously. You look at the shelf. I promise, if I change this to here, let me change it. Oh, where did I grab this from? Oh, I grabbed the wrong one. I'm like, dude, why is it not changing? This one right here. If I change this one from here to here, volume is going to be up here. You guys follow so far? So at this time, this is where a lot of sellers were at it. But then if I take it to the lowest low, sure, they sold here a lot, but they brought it back up. And what did they do here? They added again to their short position. So they shorted again. Well, same thing here, if you guys think about it. On the buying side, these people are protecting their levels, right? So if you take the accumulation right here, and let's say we first do it to this level here, because this is the high. This level here is fairly big too, right? So if you look at this level, this is a giant level here that they're accumulating, 3680. And remember, draw a zone around it, nothing else. But now if I take it all the way to the top before the consolidation. So if I take it to this candle here, this is where the POC is, right? And where is it? Right at 38.50, is it not? They accumulated it a lot at 38.50. And now look, if you just take this range between the fibs, this is a good confluence. What happens here? Okay, did I confuse you guys?
A little bit.
Okay. This whole run up here that they accumulated, I grabbed it from the bottom here to the upside. I took it all the way to the highest, first high before the consolidation. So I'm grabbing this candle to include this one. I potentially include this one here as well. And it would see that it's these buyers, the heaviest accumulation of this run up from here to here is at 38.50. So if we come back to this level right here, I promise you're going to get some buyers. You will get a lot of buyers here. They will defend this level. So for me, if this level comes, and I'm on a daily chart, if this day comes tomorrow, I'm going to be a buyer. If this day comes in a day after that, I'll be a buyer. And then when it comes here, you can play 0 DT, but when you play 0, you have to be a little bit more quicker on your profits, right? Because it could do something like this. It comes here and you're like, man, I want it to the top of this and I'm not selling. Well, it might not do that. It might not do that. So
Shorty, you said 38.50 or 39.50?
Are you looking at my screen? 38.50, bud.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm on daily, guys. So do not confuse that.
Okay, thank you.
So this is the level right here. If you guys look, the 38.54 level is pretty good, right? So it's the most volume that was accumulated here on this whole thing, right? But I'm grabbing from the bottom to here, which also includes this piece of volume that was selling. You guys see that? I want to make sure you guys see it. There's a couple of days here of consolidation that causes this volume to shift up. If I really, really cared about, finding the top here, probably max I would do for a true aggressive buying is somewhere around here at this level. Because when I grabbed this and I was hoping somebody catches it, I'm catching this down, nice downswing here. Does everybody follow?
Yep.
Yes.
No, I went on a daily. Yeah.
Because I'm on a daily, you have to be clear that you're grabbing swing A to swing B. Here I'm grabbing swing A to B to C to D. Because this is a perfect ABCD pattern. I promise it's perfect. Here, I'll show you that it probably hit on the dot. What did it hit? It's on 1272. 1272 and 1618 are always your targets. And they hit that one. So it could be that this is a completed ABCD pattern, right? And you could take it from here to here to here as well and see. There's another swing here and you see it. Here, not a single candle went on daily above this level. But the fact is, if I grab this level here, it would be more realistic for me for buying opportunities. There are a chance they buy here, yes, but I'm including a lot of sellers from last time. And here would be more realistic. If they come here, 37.70, that's good. But what does this tell you as a trader? What should you, how do you, I give you all this now. How do you formulate a trade? Well, for me, it's simple. If we come here, I will look for an opportunity to potentially buy here. Just based on the volume that we had on the longer run, because there's also some buying here. I'm seeing some buying. I'm seeing bearish volume anomaly as we ran into it. So I know everything here, pretty much from here to here was selling, I guarantee you. Increased volume from the push up telling me you're hitting a supply, we're going to start selling more, and disguise it as a hammer. And a lot of people are like, yeah, man, this is a hammer, it's going to go run. Then they reversed it with normal hammer here, and then they pushed it up. So that even more, if you're using single patterns, like, validated this hammer, yeah, man, this is bullish. And then, of course, what they do, accumulate it, and people were probably more bullish, and then they sent it down. And I'm pretty sure this like hit somewhere 50% retracement of this run up. There it goes, right on 50%. So it went up, retraced 50, and then rocketed. And now it's the same thing. So if you look at this, you're like, okay, well, what can happen here? So we have a nice retracement, right? I mean, from here to here, and look at these levels. Let me remove these. There you go. Look at that. So this area here, from technical and statistical standpoint, there's a high chance for a bounce. So what would I do? Yes, I'll buy here. This would be the first zone that I'm looking to buy here. If they dump it here, yeah, I would participate in buying here. Okay, so they'll have this level 3,900. If they break that, I'm pretty sure they will. The 3,903, if they break below that, they will go to 3,850-ish right here. And if they break below that, then from here to here, you have about 100 points. I would anticipate to see some buyers here, and some probably that are a little bit more aggressive than the one level above. Somewhere around here. Okay, so these are daily levels of volume. That means there's a lot of data being there, right? But that doesn't mean that you can't have quicker levels of volume profile, right? You can do this, guys, on every time frame, I promise. Here, I'm on 5 minutes. I will just show you how it works, right? So if I look at this, volume here, I would say we're making higher highs, higher lows, higher high, higher lows. And there's some consolidation in between every one of these levels, I would say, on 5 minutes. So if I was to short here, let's say you missed this top, how would you do it? Well, you could do it two ways. You could do it this way, right? And you see here that this level is where a lot of sell-off happened, but it's also where a lot of retracements happen and where you didn't really get a nice imbalance move from there, I would say. You know, you got these quick imbalances and pullbacks, quick imbalances. You didn't really get a sell-off. If I really want to find a POC from this level right here, this is the level of potential short. As you come to this level, to this supply that caused this massive imbalance here, this is the level you're looking to short. Because this would be the first time that we come up to it. Remember, I'm on 5 minutes. Like this is live right now. So now, so for instance, if you guys think about this, here we accumulated. Would you guys say here we accumulated a bunch? What day was this? Friday?
Yes.
Okay, well, let's just do this quick example. You
Yeah, pretty
accumulated
good.
a lot. Friday, what did you do here?
Bounce.
Bounced.
Okay, so 39.56 to 61 is not a lot of points, but did your technicals work? Did your setup work? I would say it worked pretty good. It
Yeah.
hit to a dot.
Mm.
So for instance, if I'm trading, and a lot of you guys sent me messages, so I'll answer your question for at least 15 of you now here. If I'm trading this long, and let's say I'm trading, it doesn't matter what kind of account you're trading. If I'm trading futures, right? If I'm going long here, and if I know that this is my target right here, so I can get 6.75 points here, right? Is that correct? Yeah, 675 points here. If my reward is 6, how much should my risk be? I'm playing 2 to 1.
3.
Who else?
If your reward is 60,
My reward is 675. What is
so
my risk if I'm playing 2 to 1?
Risk is 3.25 or something, but that's based on the setup.
3.325.
There you go. So it'll be 3.325.
How do you
So
figure that out?
just take 50% of 6.75.
Okay.
Because think about it. Is there a calculator? If 6.75 is what you're making on this trade, and you're saying 2 to 1, right? So 50% has to be, you know, your risk. So if you take this divided by 2,
yeah, 3.37.
all you have to do is, and I'm planning a trade, right? So right now this trade's gone. Like I would not play this. Let's say I will give it 325 just because of the right math is off. You could go give them 350 if you're, and you see here that trade's almost 2 to 1. If you put it at this level right here, it's going to be slightly over 2, but that's okay. And as we achieve this level here, right, it would probably be good to exit and see what happens. And then you have to do the same thing, guys. Then you watch the price action and you pay attention to, hey, I see a big sell-off here coming up. I see a bunch of shitty price actions like accumulation, the accumulation. So let me see what happens. And it's the same thing, guys, that happens. I'm on 5 minutes. I'm telling you, this works. Watch this now. I'm gonna grab this. Is there a consolidation followed by big 2 candles with increased volume?
Yes.
Well, there's
Yeah.
consolidation. There's 2 big volume increases. There was an imbalance here. So they created an imbalance here. They broke the imbalance, right? So fairly simple, right? So we know, I'm just gonna remove this for a moment. If this is where they accumulated, okay,
Yeah.
what do you guys see happened here shortly after we broke the balance?
The sell-off.
Before the sell-off.
Yeah.
If you missed the big candle, guys, it's okay if you missed the breakout. I promise we come back at some point to retouch it. This is called a
Retest.
quick, this is called a quick retest. Eventually, I promise you get a retest to the level and it works out better. Because then you have levels that you can take money off. You missed this whole thing here. And look at this then. Dump. Dump. You just have to accept that this is how it's going to work. And look at here. This one got even more better, right? It repeats a lot. And all of these repeat constantly. And remember, I'm only on 3 minutes. I'm not using anything. If you have the, why do we do the bigger levels? Well, I don't know if I would want you shorting right here at 38.74. If you have the guts to short right here, well, you're good. I personally would not have the guts to short here. Right? So as you're approaching major levels, why do we chart this is to know where those big buyers, where those big sellers are. Do you really want to go short where the big buyers are like attracting the price to come back so they can load up? And the people that been short, they're going to be buying to cover their position. You really want to be short there? No, that's why we
No.
mark big levels, because you don't want to be the the one that's slaughtered on the line. You want to be playing along with them. Okay. All right, so let's see here. We're on 30 minutes. Where do you guys think I should draw on 30 minutes to see the demand? Remember, you could be a 30-minute accumulation trader. You could be an hour. You can change the time frames that you desire, right? The longer the accumulation, the more aggressive the move most likely will be. So if you look at this, so like right here, what do you guys think happened right here? So look at this. We accumulated, we dumped, right? We came to value area low. We also had struggle. If we usually come to value area low and we struggle, they will most likely break inside, go to POC. Sometimes they do the trap like they did here, and that's okay. You lost this trade. You don't lose your confidence in the system. It's not going to work every time. I'm telling you guys, there's not a system that works 100% of the time. If you do not accept the losses, planned losses as part of your trading, you will not be in this game for a very long time. This is a lost trade for me. I guarantee you that I lost here. But, and they came back and look how well they execute this. I mean, they're genius. They went over, came back for a retest, had a big, whatever you want to call a big candle here. Then they created a double top here. They had the exhaustion and then they sell it down, right? And I mean, if you look here, so if you look up now on the run side, we can do the same thing on 30 minutes. Let's just go here. I can see where a lot of buyers were here. And this level, has it been tested?
No.
No.
No, this level hasn't been tested. So if we come back to that level now, because remember, this is a fresh demand. The ones that we highlighted, way back, right? All of these, they're far, guys. Yes, there might be traders, and might be orders sitting there, but the story of the market and how they want to play it might have changed. The delta, the exposure, the news, whatever. If they announce the war is over in Ukraine, we're gonna rip 10%. Oil's gonna drop like a hot cake. That means inflation's gonna drop. The natural gas is gonna drop. And what do you think? All the other ones are gonna pop up. The money inflow and outflow is gonna change. The demand for the product is gonna shift. Right now, everybody's buying here. I mean, I'll quickly look at how many people are buying LMT right now. You guys think a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Okay, well, take a look at this. You came in here.
This is for war, correct?
Yeah, this is definitely a war stock. So I don't know what they make, like airplanes. I don't know which specific airplanes, but they make a bunch of shit for US under government contract. Every week we give them a new contract. So see here, this was a double top. This was ascending and we broke from it, went down, came back for a retest, right? And now just pay attention to the volume. It's telling you something. Big old candle, tiny candle, smaller candle, smaller volume as you're going up. Probably not the best. But then what happens there? What happened this week, November 10th? Guys, they're selling the hell out of
The
this.
seller, yeah.
Guys, the war is coming to an end, I guarantee you. The market's telling you the war is over. There's no more war. All this is now basically them playing fear and buying commodities. Russia, China, US buying gold, selling gold, getting the real assets. I promise. Getting 30% discount on a mortgage on a house, and you saw JPM or some bank said that they're gonna be buying 1,000 residential homes. I mean, if you tell somebody a house was 800%, but you're gonna give them a 30% discount, that $800,000, the discount's $240K for them. And multiply that by 1,000 homes. You guys get it?
Yeah.
Is this why
It-
there's
it-
a bunch of media that's like leaning towards possible war between like China and stuff?
Of course, yeah. Remember, the news are gonna be manipulated. They're gonna be forced and made so that way you guys do the opposite of what they want you to do.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that we might have another leg down. Yeah, sure. Like the whole market, definitely. But it doesn't mean you should be, man, like I'm terrified to buy shares long. I bought AMD. I've already sold it. On the next pullback, what do you think I'm gonna do with AMD? I'm gonna
Buy it
back.
again.
Again.
Yeah, I just lowered my cost overall if I lose more money in the future, right? If they ever drop to 50 and my average was 60, that's okay, because when I do my total year return on AMD, what's gonna happen? Well, it won't be $10 per share loss, it'll be like $2 per share loss. So it gives me a little bit more room to hold. Right? Okay, so I mean, so if you look at this story here, look at this. It's telling you something is off, right? So here you look at this big old red volume picked up here, a lot of selling into this with bearish volume anomaly. And now you have this volume here that's, this week is done. And look at the body of this candle versus this candle. And I showed you guys the selling climax. There's no reason why they can't drive this back to 493, and hence the news that you've been hearing is North Korea. I mean, nothing against North Korea, but you can't threaten America and bigger countries when your economy is like that. Sure, you might have partners. I'm not saying America's the best, but guys, America has a lot of fucking weapons and money. So it's not, if you've never been in a boxing match and you never boxed in your life, I promise you will not go and talk shit in front of Mike Tyson.
Fact.
No, I mean that's how the news are. You can feel which news are feeling like manipulation, right? Some of them are like, okay, well, I don't know if I trust this. Like, yes, I care about North Korea instigating a fight, but yeah, there's too many war airplanes on land and elsewhere that U.S. should be worried about North Korea. Because U.S. is just sitting now down and just absorbing it. We might not have the best politicians, but when you're in a war on land, it doesn't matter who the politician is. You're going to go into war if the Congress declares it. So I don't know if the war is going to happen, but this to me looks very bearish. And if you guys look at this on the monthly, 20 days into a month, you guys, this I'm not going to tell you what to do, but look at the volume on this. Study yourself. Okay.
Looking at that volume, it looks like they accumulate out in earnings and then they just get distribution after the dividend on the weekly.
And dividends got paid.
The upcoming dividends aren't paid yet.
Yeah, they will be probably in December. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, that's what I'm. But when you were back on the weekly, what I was saying is it showed that pretty clearly that on earnings it's accumulating, and on dividend days that's when you start to see the drop.
Yeah. So if it hits this range here, close to 500, I don't think buying puts for. I'll tell you where it goes, and whoever would like to record it and remember it, sure, man, just do that. And I promise you can buy 400 puts for February, and you'd be profitable on that trade. I might just get some just to prove my point here. And at the same time, as we come to this level, will I be shorting around this level? No.
Hell no.
I will not be shorting around this level. I will be covering my short position on it. Means I'll be selling my puts. Remember, selling puts is bullish because the delta changes. So when you sell the puts, it's a bullish setup in the market. So here I'll be getting out, and just like here now, if you guys look at this consolidation, You know, the POC is right here. You're bouncing off of this range low. Your range top is right here at 495. So it's setting up for a good bear setup. So don't let the news distract you from your personal goals and what you're building wealth. You're not building profit. If you're building for you and your family, you're building a little bit more than what we, you know, your first day. You have to have a goal for daily, but how it fits in your overall goal, that's what you should be looking at when you're buying long-term stuff. Okay, so here, I mean, you can use the same guys concept. They just repeat nonstop. So should you be shorting right here? Anyone? A lot of you guys want to catch these moves right here. Well, there's no reason to catch this move. Like literally, there's 0 reasons to catch this candle here. For what? Who wants to catch this candle?
I mean,
So they can go 4 points down. Sure. I mean, if you have that type, and they can, I promise this candle can quickly go here to the top right now or to this top. It's a tight range. And now you're trying to figure out where they're going to sell it from. What is it where they sold off from that they haven't revisited? Well, for me, I showed you guys that this level here, if I just grab up to here, it'll give me a POC where they sold off from. And this is the level I'll be interested. If they can drive it to this level, and remember the time frames. This doesn't mean I get in here on this level and I look for a drop 250 points. Okay, that I have to look at a little bit bigger picture, bigger POCs, right? If I looked at this POC on the bottom on the weekly, this is the level that I'll be looking on a longer time frame on a weekly chart now. If I'm looking at this, this is the level, right? So this is the initial one we talked about. I would only look at this area here and I'd be like, okay, well, from this level you broke off the 3665 as we arrived there, long time. I'll be aware of this level because this is where they basically aggregated the volume before taking off. And it tells you on the weekly that this demand is not very strong. You guys notice that? Why is it not strong? Anyone?
Is that because the volume's going down?
Yes, and one more thing. Who knows? Somebody knows. Come on. Why is this demand no good?
Because it didn't break and make higher highs.
Yeah, it did not break the structure, guys. Does everybody understand structure? Who doesn't? Just say no. One of you say no and we go over it. Who doesn't understand it?
No. Me.
No.
No.
Okay, good. Here's the market structure on the weekly. I'll go one by one, step by step, and take notes if you need it. This right here is higher high, right? Do you guys understand what higher high means? Everybody should know by now.
yes.
Yes.
Anyone that doesn't? Okay, so this was a higher high here, this was a higher high, and the higher high, just for people that might be shy and not willing to respond, means this is the highest peak before the previous swing high. So this one is higher before the previous swing high here, if you want to call it. That's enough candles on the weekly, and this high is higher than this one. Well, this right here would be a lower high, right? So this is a lower high here that was there, right? So when you break this level, right? So if you think about it right now, this here was a higher high. And this here was higher high. So where did the market shift? Anyone?
On the other side.
No, not
When the
there.
lower high broke.
When you made a lower high here,
Okay.
but
okay.
if you're to break a lower low here, that's where the market shifted. In this instance, right, I'm just only focused right here, not yet there. So here, the market would have shifted when you put in a new lower low. So here you had a higher low, higher low. Well, here you put in a lower high and a lower low. So the market went, remember, and I don't say this just to repeat it, up is higher high plus higher low, right? And then the downside is
Higher, low, low, low.
lower high plus lower low. So the break of structure only happens when you break the cycle of this or this, the peak of that closest one. So if the break of structure, and remember, I'm on a weekly big time level. If I'm going down, in order for me to now reverse this trend from higher high to lower high to equal lows, I would say here right now you're building a lot of equal lows, right? You're very close to it. You know, here, what do I need to do? Where's my break of structure to start making higher highs? Anyone? At what point will I make higher high here from this point on?
Like 7 candles to the right.
Well, no, I'm caring about the level where you would draw the break of structure. Where's the break of structure here?
It's when you get above that
When you-
lower high.
Exactly. If I'm able to break this lower high, and Drew, if that was your mic and you're watching a game, stop it.
No, that's not me. I'm not watching a game.
Hold on 1 second, guys. Yeah. Hold on, guys. Hold on.
All right, so who's watching the game and got me in trouble?
I don't know.
I don't even have a TV in my office to watch a game. I don't even like sports, so that's a non-issue. Or I guess I like violent sports, MMA, hockey.
Love boxing, love MMA.
I don't like boxing. It's not violent enough for me.
We all love the best sport, options trading, man.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'll go and play sports. I would rather play rugby than football.
Yeah.
And I love playing ice hockey.
MMA, boy, you gotta be a badass to get in there.
Hey, sorry, that's my wife.
You're good.
Heard noises. She freaked out.
So to be clear, that was not me watching a game. I don't even have a TV in my office.
All right, good. All right, so lower high, this is the break of structure. This is when you guys see me marking stuff. This is called break of structure, right? So what it's telling us from price action is the market is attempting to do what?
Go bullish.
To break the structure of the previous higher high, lower low. So here, if you're following higher low, lower low, and then lower high. So we're in a bearish. So now what they're doing is they're trying to break whatever you want to call it. If it's not the structure, call it whatever your heart desires, meaning you're shifting.
Yeah.
The market's trying to shift here. And market shifted from here. What did I do? And started making higher highs, right? Then the market came here, right? I'm just gonna do, this is quick higher highs on a weekly here. Made higher highs, had a higher low. So then you see this, I would say this is the low that we care about. I don't know about this one. So once this low here is broken, this will be the bearish BOS.
Break of structure.
This would be the break of structure, right? And if you want to go higher, if I want to have a, from this point here, if I want to have a higher, this would be a bullish break of structure because it would take out the previous lower high. Okay, does that make sense? Those who did not know, do you understand break of structure now?
Yes, thank
A
you.
little
Yes.
I have a question about it though, if you don't mind. It makes a lot of sense when you're showing it as like when it already happened, but how do you understand it
Sure.
like when it hasn't happened yet? If that makes
Sure,
sense.
sure. Let's do one that hasn't happened yet. Come on. So here's ES. I'll just go on smaller, maybe 3 minutes. All right, somebody tell me, where's the break of structure here?
The break low is going to be below. Well, it's kind of hard to see, but like
From here to here. Nothing's hard to see. From here to here. Find me the bullish break of structure. I'm on
bullish
3 minutes.
is
Yeah,
going
I'm
to
on 3
be
minutes.
the
21.45?
39.80.
Oh,
39.76.
Whatever this level is here.
Oh gosh, I'm way off. Sorry.
Well, think
yeah, I'm
about it.
sorry.
All right, let's look. Higher high, lower high, lower high, lower high. I'm not calling out lower lows. We're making lower lows. Lower high, lower low, lower high. Before this, you got into this is your kind of lowest high before you started doing what?
Lower lows.
Well, you started consolidating, right? Because now the price is not breaking the lows, but it's not breaking the highs.
Mm.
Right.
So
Remember,
it wouldn't be later at the higher low that happens like a few hours after.
so here, if you look at, well, that remember the market timing. I'm on 3 minutes. Overall, earlier, what did I say the trend is?
Bearish.
I mean, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower low, lower low, lower low. It's a bearish trend on the weekly. On 3 days, I would say still the same. Daily, I would stay on the daily here, you're consolidating. Or 4 hours, I'm sorry. So if you look at the daily, I apologize. Daily, you're consolidating. 4 hours, you're consolidating. You don't have a direction on a daily or 4 hours. 2 hours, do you have a direction? You have lower highs and higher lows. What is lower highs and higher lows?
Consolidation. Nothing.
It's consolidation, guys. So you can't really use that. On 2 hours, the break of structure is where? Let me zoom in.
Down at that bottom. Yeah.
This is, you can use this, or there's this one here, because here you have lower highs. If you make this one here, what does it mean? That would mean you're making a lower low. Here you have a higher low, right? This one is tricky because you have this one here, but overall you have higher lows and lower highs in this right here. So if you're able to break this right here on 2 hours, this is a, whatever you want to call it. Don't put too much on your chart, but this is our, 2-hour break of structure to the downside. Then you can go on, if you're trading on 30 minutes, well, look at this. You know, this is your lower highs, higher high, lower high. This is your lows, and you have higher lows. Anytime you have higher lows and lower highs, you know, I've trained many of you. What do? Connect the lower highs and higher lows, and they should give you a triangle of some sort.
Yeah.
And there's a triangle here. So if you're able to break this level right here, which happens to be the POC that we marked earlier, right? That means you're breaking the POC, which is a big deal, right? We talked about this. It sets the sentiment for the market. Then it's also breaking the structure here, which is the low. Now, you know, on 30 minutes. So here, this is not structure, guys. This right here is not a new structure until this goes. And let's say it comes back here, consolidates, then this becomes, right now, this is not structure. Your break of structure right now is still here on 30 minutes, 39.82. This is not break of structure here. You can call it, it's a very aggressive structure here to call this a lower high. In my opinion, that's not a lower high.
You break a structure is the line at the bottom, correct?
That's a bearish one, and then there's a bullish one.
And the bullish would be on the, gotcha.
Why is that not a lower high?
It's not, because this candle is inside of this candle here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it still made, you know, it made a lower low here between the two candles. This one made lower low, this one made higher low, this one made higher low, and this candle now in 30 minutes, I'm looking candle to candle. This 30-minute has not made a higher high to previous candle. And the body of the candle has not made a higher high where they open. Right? So right now, still, there's a high chance that they don't break this. Otherwise, you know, they would need to break at least this level for you to be interested in 75 cents to the next major support. So this is not a structure here. This is definitely not a structure. Not for me. Maybe there's people that would call it. Not for me. And this here would need to come back down here. And then I would call this structure. But a really nice break, you know, once you shift to 65 minutes, you see this, right? This would be your structure high here. And that, if I draw two structures here and there's a line, like one, there's a stick right next to it. I mean, guys, you can do this. Don't be shy to do this. Nobody's going to tell you, hey, man, you drew a break of structure the wrong way. No, you're not. This is a zone. So now if they want to challenge this line, go to 39.82, they could. Right? That means they're bouncing off of this level right here. Think about it. I didn't draw this perfectly, but so they're hitting this one, they're hitting this, they're right here. So if they want to bounce it, they have some resistance coming up, right? And some of these are not really good because that was a diamond I was illustrating. So now if you look at it, they're bouncing at a good level. If they come up to this, this would be a value area high 39.71, and it might go. And if I was trading this aggressively right now, if I was aggressive, why should I not take this trade? Is there a reason not to take it above 39.63? You could let it come back, break, and go. Because then on 5 minutes, now watch this 5 minutes. What did I say that was a what? Did I say that this was a break of structure on 5 minutes or 3 minutes, whatever we were earlier on?
Yeah.
Is that the level I gave you, Drew?
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one.
Yeah.
No, I'm just making sure he's paying attention.
Why wouldn't I be paying attention?
So this is the level now for 5 minutes, break of structure, right? And it doesn't mean you trade 5 minutes. It just depends how well you trade and what's the time frame that you trust. Right? Here's your 15 minutes, and also we're not able to break it. You know, in 15 minutes, that's close to not being a structure, it still is. And then here's a major structure that you would need to break. This is probably just a 50%. Man, why do I keep clicking that fire button? Here would mean that you're just playing the retracements off of this level. And you see here, we kind of bounced here off of 61.8. We held it. Now you're approaching this 50% to a 39.62, which lines up very close to the structure. We got a couple of confluence points that are telling you that this level is important. So if this level is important for us, if you miss the opportunity to buy on this POC, that's okay. If you break this level and come back for a retest, I would go along there. On the first retap, I would go along on 39.63. Because I know I'm looking again, small time frames, that if you break this, there's a high chance you're going to be pulling up to this level. Remember, guys, I am on smaller time frames. I'm not designing a plan for me or for you because we might be different. I'm watching here. If this breaks, comes back for a retest, I'd go along and probably push this 39.71. 10 points on ES would be pretty good. Okay. So that's how you can start designing yourself some plays and some rules against it, right? So, you know, just look at the bigger plays and bigger structures here. Here's, you know, 15 minutes. Look for the little boxes of consolidation, right? So let me go on MES. Here's 15 minutes on MES. If I look at 15 minutes supply and demand, I'm able to quickly tell where they accumulated from, where they are selling from. You know, you see this whole area here, unfortunately, is accumulation, but then you can look for the imbalances, you know, where it got tight. And then where you got a nice candle sell-off, right? Oh, sorry. So here you got, you know, after hours, right? You got a nice, so it doesn't mean it's going to be the highest volume here. You know, if I grab it all the way to the bottom here, there's no way this is going to be the highest volume. You guys see that? Because it's, first of all, it's, you know, not very heavy volume here that's happening if I'm looking at candles. And then here happens to be much better volume as we ripped up. So as you went up to this candle here, well, if I'm trading 15 minutes accumulations and there's no levels that I see, do you guys see any major levels like that I should be? Well, here you would not be able to see them on ES. My question is, do I see any major levels around it? Well, yeah, I mean, you see some, right? So if you're thinking about the structure, right, this would be the 2-hour break of structure here. So that'll be a fairly important level. But if I'm playing this bounce, that break of structure, I don't care for it. If you're going to come to this level here, 39.19, I go buy. If I'm trading futures tonight and they give you a range, this is a great buy, guys. How would you know where to go to? Where's your exit if you buy here?
Value area high.
Yeah, or a little bit before it. I mean, here you have a little shelf, right? You have skinny belly and a shelf created. It's the second largest shelf after POC. So if you go along there, I would just grab that one row and this is my exit. So 39.19 to 39.28, 10 points. So here you get in, play 10 points and you're done. Okay. So the same thing on the upside. You just got to look for consolidations like this one here and then see if it's been tapped, right? And that one has not been tapped yet. So let's say you're playing futures tonight. This is the level I'm aiming for. If you get it up there, I'll short, right? And what would happen most likely is that these people that break this level, break of structure, they get excited, but this is where you short. This is where, you know, when you think about setups, you get this, you break the high here, right? And then you would get something like this. And because this break of structure right here, or this demand did not take out this supply, what would that mean? You're going to bottom here.
More sell.
You're going to the next closest demand from the first one that you sent it high to the same highs here. So your ideal entry, if you don't like this level, then let it come back to this previous liquidity under. I promise this is a short right here. And you drive it all the way to the bottom. Doesn't mean you don't take some profit here, some profit here. It would be stupid not to, and some profit here. This is a tiny little demand in big scheme of things, okay?
Can you explain that again, Shorty, when you said if this demand didn't take out this level and that's why it's going down versus up?
Okay, so I was just looking at this picture right here because I'm interested only in 15 minutes, meaning I'm only looking at this right here. Everybody follow? I don't care to the left. Okay. So if I look at this demand here, right? If I look at to this demand, and this is the previous lower high that I'm seeing here. Right. If this is the previous lowest high, and from this lower high, we sold off, right? And if I just zoom in, this lower high broke a structure from here, right? It broke here. So it's a pretty valid supply. Broke the structure, triggered a lower low. Okay. Well, then you keep going and they re-added here. So if you're to grab this here, you'll be able to know that by the volume. So they sold here, they re-added here, they re-added here short, and then here they closed their short. Okay. So now this demand here, in order for this demand to be super strong, you need to take out the previous, structure high in the bigger scheme of things. So for here, if you look at this was a supply. So if you want this demand to be strong, it needs to make a higher high right here above this in this picture only. I'm pretending there's not much to the left. So if that's the case, well, we need to kind of close above this nicely. And that would count this demand as stronger demand because it took out the previous lower, this supply that created a break of structure previously and caused lower lows. But if this demand cannot make higher highs above the previous supply, the sell-off, this tells you that this demand is not that very strong.
Is there another way to say that, like when you say demand, does that mean like the people that bought down at that where you have your cursor aren't
Do you
holding
understand
or to go
demand
higher?
much? What do you like to buy? What's the favorite thing? What's your guilty buying?
Shoes.
Shoes. Okay. Well, let's say tomorrow, the price right here on Gucci shoes is right here. And you love these Gucci shoes, right? And they're just multiply this number by 100, right? Whatever that is. Call them $8,000 Gucci shoes. Well, there's a special one-time sale that Gucci does it once a year, and they sell these for $6,000. Do you want to buy here, even though you have money, or would you wait a little bit and get them back at 60?
You try to wait.
You try to wait, and what do we call those people in terms of their name in the market?
Responsive buyer.
Oh yeah, these are responsive buyers. They're waiting to buy it at a price that's desirable to them, and that's where the demand is for that product at that price at 60. There's a lot of, if you're Gucci, would you increase the supply here or here?
At the top.
Yeah, you wanna get rid of them as much as you can, because I mean previously the Gucci shoes got sold out at this level. See that Gucci shoes sold, they brought it back, and there was a lot of buyers. They were so happy buying, and then the Gucci said, "Man, well, we don't have any more supply, guys." And then what happens when there's no supply? What happens to the price?
Price goes up.
Okay, same thing. If people say, "Hey, there's no more Gucci shoes here, man. The warehouse is broken." Well, what do you think a woman like yourself and others would do here? They will freak out and they'll go to their husbands, be like, "Hey, listen, this Gucci shoe is no longer going to be made because the warehouse broke." Well, and you don't have to tell women fast enough that something broke and they can't buy the shoes. They're all going to be buying the shoes and fighting for the price. If it's $100 more, they'd be like, "Okay, well, it's no longer 6,400. You can get them now for 67." And a rich person be like, "Okay, well, I can pay a little $300 extra. If the warehouse is broken, I'll pay a little bit more." Then there's more news, and the same shoes are no longer 67, but they're like, "Hey, we don't have them at 67. You can buy them at 70 because also now the supplies they're not coming on time." Well, then Gucci goes up here. We're like, "Oh man, now everything's Gucci. we have a little bit more to sell to you here." And they offload the last pairs that they got as much as they can at the price that's super high. And then they dump it back down. And the same concept of supply and demand. When there's too much of something, and I mean, is the price going to go up or down?
Down.
It's going to go down. Same thing I talked about at car dealerships and supply of houses. When there's a lot of houses available in the market for selling or for buying, you know, I mean, that means a buyer has a wide choice of picking which house they want. And, you know, they have a lot of data to compare, and they can demand a little bit lower prices. Because if there's 10 houses for sale in the neighborhood, one guy is asking 900K and 9 houses that are identical to his are at 550. Do you guys think that guy at 900 is going to sell it?
No.
No, there's no way. And it's the same concept in the stocks, right? The news and the company narratives or whatever that might be, they drive the supply and demand. Supply and demand is created by the people in the market. For me to buy, somebody's willing to sell, right? So if the people are not willing to sell here, if there's no supply here, but people are willing to buy it here, the price eventually starts making lower highs, higher lows, or higher highs, right? I mean, here's higher lows, they're making higher highs. Because this could be right here that the retail is like, man, this is a pretty good deal right here. So let me nimble at it like I did. I'm in it. I bought a little bit, man. Let me buy a little bit more. I averaged down, add a little bit more. It popped, and I'm like, okay, well, I sold it here in this cycle as well. So I was a buyer. I was demanding this price around 55, and I demanded this price a year ago. And when it came there, I bought it. Well, I also sold it here.
So in your terms, you would say a strong demand down on that lower rectangle would take out that level where you have the second rectangle?
That's correct. It should. But if it doesn't, it tells you that this demand is not stronger than the supply, meaning the aggressiveness of this buying is not greater than aggressiveness of people willing to sell at this level. If I'm willing to sell a bunch of Gucci shoes here, but I can't get a bunch of Gucci lovers to go buy it, and if they do buy it, what do I do as a supplier? Well,
You keep
I
buying
just
more?
I'll
You
just
keep
keep
raising the
selling.
price.
I'll keep selling to you. If my sell short, it was if I started, if my if my short entry is here, like it looks like, right, that it was for some people, and I'm just looking, you know, at a major level here. I probably shouldn't have grabbed this because there's a like maybe right here, and you'll see this POC. If this POC is right here, and I shorted here a lot, right? I accumulated at this, so I created at this time. Did we know if this was going to be a supply or demand?
No.
No, we cannot predict. I don't know. There's bearish bias that it's going to be a supply, right? Meaning that they're resupplying their warehouse to sell more. But it could be that there's some fresh buyers, right, defending, or from here that they're defending that level. Like, you know, they're buying, they sold, they went up higher. Well, now they accumulated here, and many probably might have thought, hey, this is going to go higher. Well, they went lower. So now they found new value. New demand was created at this price. Remember that price discovery word that I keep bringing up to you guys?
No.
Yes.
So it went into the price discovery mode, and it found two values of interest, right? It found one right here, and it said, no, I think there's lower, and then they went lower. Then they found here, and then there's buyers willing to buy here. You see the action. They're buying, selling, buying, selling. The wider the range, the happier the buyers are in that range. The longer we accumulate, right, left, right, the more aggressive the move will be. And if you think about it here, now this is a weird accumulation here. And usually, just FYI, a little bit of, not off topic, but does everybody know that these are like measured moves? That you can measure the top and bottom of the rectangle, and on a breakout, you can target the same distance. Does everybody know that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. So from here to here, maybe slightly higher. 19% from this point, you can target higher. So same thing here. 15, 17. That's 19 even. Well, that's the first, well, that's like second time I ever did that. And that was the target. And I mean, you went over, of course, you trapped some people. And look, now you're doing what? Well, if this person here accumulated or people accumulated and you see something here, is it buying or selling?
Selling.
You don't know. You don't know yet, right? Because right now there, here it looks like a diamond shape as well. So
Oh.
it could be that you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong, but this range is pretty high here. We hit the target of this demand. We hit the target. So most people, most of these guys like myself did probably what here?
Took profit.
They took profit. So maybe now there's new buyers that believe, hey, man, we're going to run a lot more. And they're accumulating and willing to buy in this range. But, excuse me, what you don't know is that all of these buyers from here sell here. You don't know that. Okay. So now you're just waiting to see what happens, right? So if you're able to, let's say this range breaks it, you can measure it, find the next closest supply that looks pretty heavy. I'm on 1 hour and you see this, I mean, this supply much bigger than tiny supply that was here. I would say, right? It's longer and it has a much wider balance. So same thing here. I mean, accumulate it, sell it. So now you're just watching, see what happens. If they break this, you probably wait for the retest of this 70 level, break below 70. And then most likely it's going to go to about 65 level. And if you're just grab this guy right here, and let's say you send it to here, look at the POC. Probably it will be back to this level at some point here in near future. I'm only on 1 hour. Okay, so that's how you look at supply and demand. Sorry for new folks, for old folks to know about it, but we got to bring everybody up to speed. So here we are again on ES. So now we're just watching. If I'm day trading right now, this would be the level I watch. And what did they do here? You guys see what they're doing to people?
If they're wicking above that breaker structure.
Yeah. So how many people do you guys think just got trapped right here? This means they went long. It was a buy side liquidity. They went long and they quickly stopped them out. I mean, you go from 39.64, let's say that, the spread, you did a market order, you bought it here. Well, they just dropped it here. And if people have a loss, they got them. But now what you want to see is you want to hop over and go and then look for supply that you can take it off from, and you can figure that out. And it doesn't have to be POC. Don't just think, oh my God, I don't see a POC. Well, you don't have to see a POC. It could be that the structure right here, like this little area, you're aiming for that one. And this one, you guys see that it's a little nasty how, I mean, it's tight. And here could be the level that you're targeting if you break this, but it's not a lot of points. That's what I'm trying to say. So right now, while you're consolidating, you're given, kind of like congested profits, congested losses if you're managing correctly. So you have to be quick on profits, but you have to also be quick on losses. And here goes the break now. Well, now just, what do you need to do to confirm it? Who trusts this breakout?
Retest.
Yeah,
Well,
let
you
it
need
stay
a
above and retest.
look at the volume. I don't know. You're breaking with this. If you want to see a make or break on a level, I need to see a little bit more power.
Yeah.
I don't trust it at all because right above that you have the previous day POC.
Yeah, we haven't gotten there, but yeah.
No, I know. You're right at the
Yeah.
VWAP and the previous day POC, basically.
So let's do that. Let's do session improves. And you guys know why we do this. We're a little bit past time because we covered the psychology part a lot. But you see here, right? You're going up top. This was a POC of this day. You came back right to that POC, right? Which was our VPOC. And now you're coming here. You have a D shape that's almost perfect here. I would say this is pretty, pretty perfect shape. So let's see. Let me make this. like that. So now you're coming here and you're like, hey, this is the PD POC right here. 39.65 or close to it is the PD POC. So we know if you're able to break this, what happens? Anyone? What is your sentiment?
Bullish.
Yeah, your sentiment should be bullish. And you held the inside value area low. Well, if tomorrow comes and you break this level here, how should you feel about it?
Even more bullish.
Even more bullish. But are you bullish on it for like why are you bullish on it? For what type of trade?
For the short term.
Short term, because the
Go to your next level.
Exactly.
Wouldn't you want to wait for the retest?
Yeah, of course. I wouldn't go long here. Right now, it's still under short. Here, my bias is still here that it was going to reject and short right here. This is a good short entry. And as we speak, you're rejecting that right there. This is a good short entry right here. Because the volume is telling you that it's a good short entry as well. 5 minutes. This was a good bullish run up. You had some volume here. You're hitting a supply, right? I mean, you're hitting a supply of the most recent rundown, and it's right here. So I'm not bullish till you're able to break this range. And remember on POCs, right? Don't play a single level. Don't be a hero. If I extend this guy here, I'm just gonna grab these two. This is the range that I'm looking. If you wanna go above this level, then I get a little bit bullish. And look what we're doing here. Break above it, come back for a retest, and then what can we do?
You go long from that break of structure.
Yeah, we go. It's a break of structure, right? Which was this one here. You need to go hop over something and then come back. The only problem that you have here is a little bit of a tricky situation, which is the question, which one do I trust? Do I trust the price action and the POC here, or do I trust the volume? Me personally, if you break above this and you respect the POC, I buy long. You break above this and you come back below the POC to test the structure, I don't trust the structure here.
Right.
Because I personally believe in volume that carries a little bit more weight than anything else. So that's why. So I would want this to go above and then have the ability to take it all the way to PD value area high. You know, if you use different time frames to get different levels, that's fine. But that's how I would play this. Okay. And you don't need anyone to tell you where a good buying opportunity is. Look at your structures, right? And then look where you consolidated. You consolidated here. You popped from this level and look what happened. You came back to this level and you rejected. And if you do this level as well here, like you can look at smaller level, and there's really no big impulse candles anywhere here, guys. You see there's one big impulse candle here, and you didn't really consolidate it much, and the volume here was crap. So now there's a lot of volume above this level. You guys see that? This volume here was, I mean, you know, look at 5 minutes at 355. That's the close of the day, but that was green volume. So if we hop over this, maybe these buyers come back and drive it to PD value area high here, which would be lower high than this. But you could catch a nice point here, you know, almost 10.5 points. But right now, your first gut here is to short. You dropped from this PD POC. You basically consolidated here. You dropped and you're coming back for a first visit. It's an easy short. And then you can target this one here at 39.60. You're playing quick 5 points and then go from there. If you break above this, come back for a retest and go low. Okay. So in terms of, you know, playing it for tomorrow, depends where we open, but this will be a good level for a quick bounce. Take it all the way to PD value area. If we open up higher than that, then, you have different variations of that. So you have the 39.82. This here would be a really good short level that we talked about, 39.90. I would definitely watch this level. But just remember, you're talking about scalps, and this is on 5 minutes that we're looking at. So this would be a good level. And then if you go on 65 minutes, you can find a decent supply. And the problem that we have right now is what? Anyone who can get it right? Why do we have a problem right now using volume accumulation setup on smaller time frames, anything below daily? Why do you think we have like a little bit of problem?
Just there's no oh shit, you said it earlier. You don't know
range.
No range, yes.
There's no range, guys. I mean, if I grab a POC from here to here, okay, well, this is my volume accumulation here. Okay, well, great. You dumped from here, you went under it, you came back here, correct? And what did you do when you revisited?
Dumped again.
Dumped.
Rejected.
Works
Lower
every
high.
fucking time. And it works every time. You can call this, I don't care if you call it ICT. The one thing that existed before any of these names was a guy on the floor that took an order. How many, sir, would you like to buy? So I can write down on this slip. And then what price would you like to buy, sir? I don't care if you call it liquidity here. I don't care if you call it break of structure. I don't care if you call it FVG. All of it is driven by the volume. And if you're, I'll be listening for you to prove me wrong. But if I'm not willing to sell and you're not willing to buy,
nothing
price is not
happens.
gonna fucking move. So for people that don't think volume is not important, well, okay. I'll play a game with you. Well, you share your portfolio, I share mine. You trade your levels, I share mine. And let's see who wins. So does everybody feel comfortable and understand at least what the game plan is for tomorrow? Is it clear? If it's not clear, that's okay. Just say, hey, not clear.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So 65 minutes, break above PDPOC, drive it. There's not a lot of range, guys. Not a lot of points. You have to be quick on profits. If the price goes away from you and you're not able to, let's say, like make as much money, do you care?
You shouldn't.
No, man.
It's not just the process.
It's not that you shouldn't. You should forget about it. Like, it doesn't matter.
Compound.
A lot of people focus on what could have happened. There's a lot of things. You could have been a son of Bill Gates, but you're not. Like, who cares, right? I mean, be happy with what you have. Okay. All right. So we'll watch PDPOC above. Obviously, here you have, this level that we see here from the major accumulation, right? So this is your big boy accumulation here. This level where we're rejecting, right? You can call it big accumulation here. So here, this is a level. If we're able to break above this level, reject the value area high, right? And come back down for the retest to this level, that's a very bullish setup. Your mind should shift that you're most likely going to go test that 40-50, right? But for right now, you need to go above this level if you want to change really the behavior. So guys, think about this. If this is our 2-hour break of structure, you could use this right here, aggressive break of structure, or this one right here, because this also happened to be higher high for a moment than this one, not a candle closed above it, but sure. And if you break this level here, it's also the Psych 4000 level, then you have a chance to go higher. But for now, even this setup right now in 3 minutes, like I said, this is a bear setup. and there it goes. If you shorted this, I know it's not a lot, just the range sucks, but the concept of the functionality and what I'm teaching you guys, I'm telling you, it's working. Did I tell you that this was the fake breakout? Did I mention it as soon as it happened? I said this is brave. It's not real. I mean, it's fake. And look, if you shorted it here, I mean, 5 points on ES. I guarantee you, if any future traders in this chat, if I tell them, hey man, you can make 5 points, 100% on this trade, they're smart, they would take it.
Yep. And also volumes building.
What do you mean?
On that candle, you've got volumes increasing.
Yeah. I mean, here it's increasing. Now it's bottom wick, right? And yet an indecision candle, lower volume. So not a lot of sellers came either here, right? You would expect that they reverse it if they have a stopping volume. There's not a lot of stopping volume here. So it's really just a fight, right? So could you have scalped this? Yeah, you could have scalped 5 points, no problem. But you need to know, right, that this was your range also to get out. Like this wick here and reversal, that's where you get out. So if you short at 39.64 or close to it, so you got 4 points. I mean, yeah, it's nasty. But let me ask you this. Let's say this range accumulates till here, and then it pops to here. Where would you guys want to go long?
Right there at the break of structure, basically.
Anyone else?
Could you look at the 50% fib of that breakout?
Okay, what else?
The retest of the POC.
Yeah, the PD POC.
Well, it would be this POC in this case. I'll be looking for this accumulation setup where it took from. So if it goes from here and it rockets, let's say it's 3,900. I'm sorry, it's 4,000. Yeah, that's good. Then this is your next buy level. And you guys notice something cool, right? So you notice that your highs, like if you look at this one here, well, maybe delete this one. So if you look at, for instance, this is a pretty wide accumulation here. I'll just focus from here to here. This was a pretty good level for accumulation here, right? So if you guys, I didn't grab it enough. Big boy level would be here, and that's where we bounced, right? But if you just focus on where accumulation happened, this is like an unusual one, higher highs, higher lows, and you're accumulating. So it's odd. But this one here, it's fairly clear that they're accumulating for something. Either they're going to rip it long or short. We don't know. Aggressive, buy over PD POC, but that's different time frame. This is previous day session time frame using to determine the sentiment. So if you go over it, yeah, you have a trade on PD POC. If when this price goes 3,900, and let's say it gives us one of those pretty good straight shots with not a lot of volume, like a big candle like we got a couple of times here, and the volume is weak, well, this for now would be a good area for buying. But if you see a lot of, let's say it does this, I want to see who can get it right. We do this, and then does this, then it goes here. Where would you guys buy now?
The next consolidation.
Yeah, the second level accumulation.
This right here will most likely be your reaccumulation, and it would be like a HVN, as we call it, high volume node. Because if this drops here, I promise the latest buyers that re-added a position, they either might have been some new value information they got about the market or whatever, and they're like, hey, yeah, we missed this one, we'll create another position, we'll re-add to our long and take it higher. So when they reject and they meet some bigger selling people from here, right, we will be looking for them, to be like, okay, we'll dump it, but we'll defend our level. And all you're playing as a trader is these levels. Where did the other buyers sit? Where did the other sellers sit? And if you're wrong, guys, it's not only that's you wrong. I promise. There's another 49% of you that's wrong. And the ones that survive is the one that accept that they're wrong. And I'm bringing back a lot of psychology, but that's the importance. Who knows if they're going to show up here again? Who knows here? In this area here. you know, 39 to 39.87. Who knows if they're gonna show up? Anyone?
Only time will tell.
Only time will tell.
Nobody knows.
We can react to levels and have the proper risk, right? So this supply here triggered, you know, a lot of sell-offs, right? So if you think about it here, it broke this low here, but not really. I mean, not really a candle closed below it, right? So, you know, was this supply here in bigger scheme of things very strong? I don't think this one here on the smaller time frame that I'm looking here was very strong. So now it's up to the bulls. Can they find new more buyers? Enough to break the supply here, these sellers, and then go higher, right? Where we would have some levels above. There's a level here as well at 40.80.
We'll see.
Okay. So stop predicting the price. In your rule book that you're designing or have, I would strongly suggest that you stop predicting and react. All I'm gonna wait tomorrow is you're either gonna react, go up here or down. And for now, I know from, I don't know, when did we open? Where's 6 o'clock here? Where is it? Right here somewhere. Okay, so this is my Sunday open, right? I would definitely mark this level here. This is my Sunday open. Yep. So this is my level here where we got it, right? I would definitely mark this level here as a level of interest. Because as the week progresses, why do I care about this? Anyone?
They're gonna go back to that price?
Maybe they'll go back to it. But this for now is
The
telling me
range.
where the week opened and where the sellers or buyers came in. And it looks like for now, the sellers came in at this level. So by Wednesday, let's say we come in here and we consolidate, we break it and come back for the retest. I would jump into the buy because these buyers are betting on higher and more aggressive than these sellers were here from the Sunday open.
We'd
So
have a
that
range.
the sentiment, you know, shifts to like, okay, well, we open here and we are above the opening price of Sunday. And watch, I mean, just here, let me go and let's do this. Let me go look at SPY here so you guys can see it. So here's SPY in 65 minutes. Just watch now. It's pretty cool. This is Thursday. Okay, so this is the Monday open, right? Okay, well, let's watch that price. Just watch this. Who can formulate a story from here? I'm not an extended. This is our Monday open right here, New York session open. Can anyone tell me like how you could have played this? If this is my open and this is my Monday close, is there anything you guys can tell me about these two levels and how they got played? Anyone? My mic working or?
When you retested at the beginning of the day, you could go long.
Yeah, you could have gone along here, right? I mean, on Monday, on a bigger picture, right? You came back here, range from it, you dipped below it, you came back, you had a low on smaller time frames, you had a retest, then you went below it, right? You didn't make lower lows, but you came back here under. Once you broke it, you became bearish, so they were able to take control, and then they dumped it. And then where did you go again? You went again to that level, and basically they dumped it from that level, and now let's see where we open. But that's why I say start getting a habit of looking like where do we open, especially on ES, like 6 o'clock when they open. It's not a bad thing to look at those levels, so that way you know. Like this is our Sunday open, you know, this is our Sunday low, which happens to be right above the PD value area low. I'm sorry, right above it. Yep. So if you're able to break this, it would, you know, show you the sentiment's a little bit more bearish. And look, there's your PDPOC doing work for you, free of charge. Okay. All right. Let's look through some tickers real quick. We'll look at it first in 4 hours. And I'm just gonna hide these to see if we can find some decent setups. Because if they're not giving us range on SPX on this, well, let's look at some other stuff, see where we can play it. Like right here on Tesla, you really don't have a good range for shorting right now in 4 hours. You're playing smaller time frames here, and that's where you can play to short or long. Okay. Does anyone see what happened here, or you guys still digesting this, what I'm teaching you? If I was to look to buy, right? So you had a run up from this level, right? And what I did here, I grabbed a lot, right? I mean, I grabbed a lot of buying, a lot of retracements, but nevertheless, I mean, there was a shelf here, tiny shelf, but there's a big shelf right here that should have been defending right here. And did it defend? Anyone? Would you guys say this one defended, did its job?
Yes.
Anyone else?
No, no, it was not defunded.
It was
They
not
went
defended.
down.
Okay, so let me ask you, sir, if it was not defended, this was the first retest from this level when it came back to here. At 180, if you put an order right here at that level, 180, let's call it 190, you put an order in and the price went to 190, you would not be okay with $5.
Okay, I did not look at that. I just look at that red candle. Sorry for that. And so it was sliced right through that zone.
Yeah, so you'll be very happy with $5 on Tesla. If you knew that this was a level, remember, I'm on 5 minutes, guys. I'm on 5 minutes. I'm looking for a candle from balance to imbalance. Everybody understands that, right? What that is. There was balance. Simple as it gets. I'm looking from balance to imbalance, and boom, this is the section. I don't even have to grab the rest. If I just grab up to here, this POC is plenty for you. Watch. You don't even have to find the top. Just grab the accumulation. I promise you'll make a living. And maybe not. The level should have been higher. So it was higher a little bit when I grabbed it, but anyways, hopefully at least you get the point. I miss it by whatever this is on the line. So this will be your zone if you just grab this without grabbing any of it elsewhere. So hold on, maybe that's the problem. Here. Can't tell which one's the next candle. Okay, well, that's good. So look for balances to imbalances. Same thing here. On the short side, well, look what happened here. They literally accumulated the data from here to this level. So if you're able to drive this price back to, let's say, 198, they will sell off. But why do we grab more? Why am I looking for all the way down right here? Anyone?
Because that's a complete rundown.
Yeah, it gives me the levels of clusters, right? It gives you the HVNs. So could you take a stab at short right here if we break this level? Yeah, of course. Can you enter another short at this level? Yeah, it gives me the
Yes.
full picture of the volume profile so I can see, right? I mean, of course, if I look at this, POC, I could grab it, from here to here. That's this move down. If this one retraces up to here, easy sell off, easy sell here. If this move, like, let me just zoom in. You guys see this move here, higher lows, lower highs. If this move comes to here, right, and we just look for the next low, well, if you come here, what is this? For me, it's an easy short. You're accumulating and coming up, right? And it's not getting much retracement. You guys see that, right? You know, once they sold off, they never came back for any of these. And then here you have another one, right? You accumulate it here. And then boom. So that's another level. And then here, look at this. You accumulate it and you went all the way to here. So now what happens here? Same thing.
Accumulated.
If you come up to this level, and what am I grabbing? This one here is a little bit tricky. And then here's this level. Right now, they accumulated. They had a nice volume pickup here Friday at 305. You guys see them that they broke outside that range, right? Broke outside the range. And what are you seeing now?
Higher
Is
lows.
this bullish or bearish on 5 minutes?
Bullish.
Yeah, it's definitely bullish. This is your structure high, structure low on 5 minutes. This is your breakout structure. And it's equal highs. You broke above it and you're defending it. So far, you're defending it, meaning you're accepting that the value is above this range. And then if we're able to go up here, why wouldn't you short it here? Right? If we grab this volume, you know, from all the way up here, and this is telling you it's a good zone, and the highest volume, and that you broke all these shelves, hell yeah, I was shorted right here. And when I say right here, that means this is a good setup for Tesla short based on the time frame that we are on, 5 minutes right here. And now you look, and I promise you'll be able to correlate if you were to take this from the top here to the bottom, and you see, look at this now. You see those clusters being formulated around the POCs of individual ones, right? Each one of them has a little bit of a cluster and it multiplies. So that's why you would do it all at once. You can do it this way, just have to know not to grab too much consolidation, where if this was a sell-off and let's say, you know, you're grabbing up to the middle here, well, you know, there's a problem because first of all, you don't know this level because you grabbed too much power on the bottom before the next consolidation, and it could be that it went up. So you wouldn't know where it's shorted. You're looking for the lowest low, right? Before the candle starts making higher lows. Candle, not the price and swing entries, right? So I'm looking to short, you know, where's the lowest low before it starts making higher low? And in this case, you know, whether it's here. That's how you find the levels, okay? So that's Tesla. I'll probably look to short it here. If I'm on 65 minutes, you can also find the supplies. So let me just look at this.
Didn't you start a long on Tesla like
did,
a
yeah.
few weeks out?
Yeah.
But then you would short at that 181 or whatever, 183 level?
Hell yeah, I would short it. So what does it do to my position?
Hedging.
Hedge.
Well, it's also a hedging, but if it's approaching a level where there's potential sellers and I can make money, if I paid, you know, whatever I paid for the contracts, how much I invested, well, now I'm reducing the cost of the contracts.
Okay.
So you can
But you
play
would still
that.
hang on to that one.
Of course, yeah. So
Okay.
they give me a reason not to, right?
Got it.
So if you look at this on Tesla, what happened on Tesla here? Why did I go long?
Because you're on a major support.
This level hasn't been really retested here. We went recently to this level, and what do we do quickly? We bounce back. So, you know, this is a big support level. And last time from here, you got a nice retracement, 12. You know, I'm betting that we start buying back again yet. You look at the 3 days, what's telling you about volume here?
Decreasing.
The selling is decreasing as you're approaching a support. So if I was looking at Tesla, like, let's say I was looking at Tesla for longer periods, like maybe a swing, I have a reason to go long here, do I?
Yes.
For a swing, right?
Yes.
For a short, well, and Macquarie, did I tell you 225 would be ideal? I don't know if he's on or not. I told him 225 would be a good range to get these out. And if you have 230 calls and this price goes up to 225, those 230s will do pretty good. Okay. So that was the reason. Yeah, of course, I'm hoping for bullish for buyers to come in here and defend the level. Is there a lot of buyers here? Well, we made higher lows off of this level, went higher. I would say that a lot of volume was concentrated probably here on Tesla at this level, 147.96. What should you do here?
Load
Again,
up.
you
Go
turn
Buy.
on
long.
all the market wizards from Twitter and anyone else, and you trust yourself and your levels. You go long. So let's say that 147.96 was your entry, and you look at the volume profile of this thing. Well, maybe if you're long-term swinging, let's say I'm on 3-day chart, so that means a little bit more data. If you buy like March, let's say it gets to 140, you can target March 180s if it comes soon. Give it 3 months and buy to the next previous support, and this would be 180. So 150 to 180, $30 a share. That's pretty good return. Okay. So that's the plan for Tesla, right? That's why I'm long, and I would short at these levels, right? But I'm seeing some aggressive buying here towards, from 3 o'clock, they became a little bit more aggressive here. Hopefully you guys can see that. And we also made higher lows inside this 5-minute consolidation. So we knew we were going up to the top. Now we got to figure out, once they come to the previous value area or value of interest, which is right here, how are they going to react to it? Big value, more specific, use volume profile and find that it's 183.73. Because a lot of people that just trade like boxes like this, and you guys see them on Twitter, I'm sure, they don't know how aggressive or volume was here or not. All they know is the wick was there, and that wick could carry some, could carry none, meaning volume. But we know the highest concentration of volume is 183, and a similar thing that we have on ES. So that's pretty much the plan on Tesla. Right now, it has 5-minute bullish setup. If it comes back to 183, 184, that's probably a good setup for short. Okay. What else you guys got? The video. I don't have any more in the video. I don't know if anyone else does, but I don't have any more. The video was almost 100%. So here's 2 hours, right? I mean, really, really wide range here from the top here to accumulate. Really not the best setup here on this time frame. So let's look at something smaller, see if we have it. I just don't see a lot of imbalanced candles. I mean, this is an imbalanced candle, popped higher and then went lower, so it seems like they're playing games in this area. So yeah, I just don't see a lot of good in the video here. J&J. Unless there's a new COVID coming out, I would not buy this here. Why is that, anyone?
All-time
Looks
highs?
like distribution.
All-time high is not the problem. Stocks can go on all-time highs, but when you get to the all-time highs, we need to see some volume. You need to have a normal volumes when you're buying, right? So here you have from the buying, you have a bearish sentiment going up. So this was your range inside this range at one point in time. So that was your break of structure. They broke the structure and quickly came back under and they rejected it, right? And then they came back. So right now, if they're going back up to it, right? Wouldn't you want the volume here to be going like this? And what's it doing?
Anomaly.
Yeah, as we're approaching here, and especially this candle here, the last weekly candle here is fairly low. If you think about it here, you can count, not a lot of candles above it, but the candles that were above it, they got quickly also pushed back on the wick side. Like you see this one here. This one is the only one that has probably the best setup. Big volume candle, bottom wick, pushed up. Look at this guy here. You guys really think he was buying here? On this big old candle? I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, and then you see consistent selling, right? So if you put the average on the bottom, your 20 days, if you put here, there's a lot of selling here as you're approaching. You're hitting some, you go here above average. This is your stopping volume here with a nice candle. When you break this, usually you can go higher. So it's a pretty good setup, and that worked out on a retest as well. But overall, from this day here to this week, all of your volume has been lower. So, I mean, you're in a range here. So if you look here, you're breaking this value area high. So potentially you go 180, and they could test this 186. But you have to be fairly quick and understanding of the levels. And here I'm on 30 minutes. And I would say this is printing a bear setup so far right now. Let me just remove this box here. So look at this right here. So you had an accumulation here, sold off, and then they had a really, really big, long accumulation, I would say all the way to here. Look at this shelf right here that's sitting. And this would be the first time you're coming back to it. So I'd look for this for a shorting opportunity, maybe not as buying for me, but I think this is coming up to a shorting opportunity. Even 4-hour volume looks pretty bad. And it has a rising wedge here. Yeah, this looks ready to come down a little bit. Look at 65 minutes here. What could go wrong here? You're running a rising wedge right into the supply. Yeah, I'll be looking for short opportunity there.
Definitely ascending triangle.
Definitely. Coming up. It also looks like a huge cup and handle, guys. So definitely go long here. Okay. What else do you guys have? We got a couple of minutes. My throat's dry, and I gotta go check my house, around my house, to make sure I don't have somebody hiding because my wife won't sleep.
Oh no.
She hears a noise. She freaks out.
Take the strap.
I'm always trapped. I live in Georgia.
We check Walmart.
Walmart.
Get some cameras.
I have it. Walmart. Wow, we filled the gap. How long did it take? Since May? Yeah. So what's not clear about this is here you have, you know, lower highs. You're really not accumulating because this was a manipulated sell-off. If you guys think about it, if you guys recall what happened here, you know, they released their numbers before earnings and then they responded on earnings, and from earnings they ended up like insanely here. So if I was to grab this, you got to grab from here, you know, to here. And fortunately, this is a shorting level here. 157-ish would be the area. So you have a cluster here as well. I mean, you can't ignore this guy. Like right here. But me personally, this I would play short right here. I wouldn't even look at this guy here. They're gonna push this up, and you know it's a perfect setup to mess with some bulls if you think about it, right? So if you guys put this on a high right here, and you break this 152, right? They're gonna think 160s, right? And they push to 157. That would be a major supplier or supply there. They'd be looking to sell. So I would look for a short.
Shorty, have you checked XLU yet?
Not yet. And I would look to short here on Walmart. And if you want something smaller time frame, I mean, 30 minutes has a really nice range here. It looks to be good for a short here, probably at open, unless we gap up. And you could drive it all the way to bottom, $3. I would take a short here and look, drive it down. I don't see aggressive sellers coming in here just yet. There's one guy here, but not much. Just didn't have a lot of follow through, right? It bounced right up. So I think they're gonna break this, go to 157. I wouldn't go long. I personally would just wait for the short.
Thank you.
Did you say XLU? I think I did. I posted something. Didn't I post something on utilities?
You may have. I may have missed it.
Yeah, I looked at this. So it has, I mean, it does have an ascending triangle, but it's also at that, you know, kind of like a changing the behavior completely of the stock. So if you go on like 3 days, even though this is not the cleanest lower high here, on this one not either. So probably 4 hours you will have to use it, which is this level here. So in 4 hours, this will be the break of structure. So you will have to go above it and kind of come back for the retest. Because when you look at selling right here, so I would probably grab this. So think about this for a moment. So this is the level where they accumulated, right? And this is just a 4 hour chart. So if that's the level they accumulated, if you go from here and go here, well, if they push this over, I would say that the magnet's gonna turn on and go to this level here. They're gonna drive it to this level here, 75-ish. I am pretty certain they're gonna reject this.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate you looking at that.
Yeah, pretty certain this would be a rejection here. Anyone else? Any other stocks? I promise you guys
No,
we're
thank
gonna
you.
run like the scans on our on our stocks. So I had it ready. We can do that tomorrow during live. And what I'll do is I'll just run like an Excel spreadsheet like we did last time. And here I'm just looking at, you know, the daily bottoms. We can look at, you know, whether it's here, we can look at the monthlies, right? Monthly bottoms and see what comes up. So that way we know what's beat up, right? What sector. So it looks like real estate took a nice little hit so far. Monthly bottom, all of communication services are way down. So that's why I posted XLC. Then you have a lot of infotech, financials, you know, handful of them. Consumer discretionary has been hit heavily. So I'd watch these. Let's see, industrials, materials, of course, materials getting hit. So that's all a monthly bottom, right? And then, you know, we could also change this to be, you know, the weekly bottoms, and then we can flip the flag and also look for the tops. And I'll post my top picks on the tops, meaning short, long term, and long for long term. And that we can do that tomorrow live and build a little Excel spreadsheet if the day is as they've been last couple of days.
How do you get the Excel spreadsheet?
I copy this and I Control C, and then I go to Excel spreadsheet and I Control V.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Yep. You can copy all of this data as like this. Control C it. Go here, Control V. Boom. I think there's a way to, I don't know, there's a way to export it from here. Save it as watch list. No, it'd be cool if they maybe change some code to allow download.
Yeah, that would be great.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for me. It's almost midnight here, and I gotta go walk around the house.
Good luck. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Hopefully you learned something. See you guys tomorrow.
Definitely did. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.